800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Good morning, students!
Cartoon Network wants you to start your day off right
by speaking up
against bullying.
People can be bullied for all kinds of things.
Who they are, where they're from, what they look like, or what they believe.
That's called identity-based bullying. If you see a student being bullied, be supportive.
Ask if they're okay and invite them to join you. You can be an ally
and make a friend.
Friendship.
Visit StopBullyingSpeakUp.com
and redraw your world without bullying.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday on this Tuesday, it's sunny, but it's breezy and cold. Wind chills throughout the afternoon will be in the 30s. The wind calms down overnight. We're mainly clear with lows in the low to mid-20s. Wednesday, we're mostly sunny, highs in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. The Dow Jones this afternoon down 110 points to 42,596.
Young will try to run, escapes the pressure, and waltzes into the middle of the end zone. Throws deep down the left side. Sanders open, walks it in for a touchdown. Throws back of the end zone. Tommy Tremble, center cut. Young hits David Moore on the slant and into the end zone, rolling to his right. He can run for it. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. Bryce into the end zone. Sanders up the middle, charging through the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a Tuesday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing. Have the Panthers fan / Bryce Young truthers come down off cloud 9 yet after Sunday? Monday was just good vibes.
Stay there.
Tuesday, day number 2 of the offseason for the Panthers. Are you still high? Because I already know what's going to happen. And I before we do this, I just want to make sure everybody knows that I was doing the opposite as well. Okay, when everyone was 0% all the way out on Bryce Young, I was going, well, you got to play him even if there's just a 2% chance that he turns into something, right? When nobody wanted him to play and everybody wanted Andy Dalton, I was going, well, you shouldn't be all the way out on Bryce. So now that it seems like everybody is all the way 100% in on Bryce, I'm going to be doing the same thing again, going, well, maybe it wasn't necessarily as awesome as everybody. It's acting like it is. We're going to update the Bryce-O-Meter, which is a innovation we have here on the Drive, where it basically is like our confidence level in Bryce Young. And I get the feeling that some are going to want it to be full throttle all the way to the right, all the way full, gas tank on full, and then another extra couple of gallons, like overflowing. I will not do that. It is as far up as it's been in a very long time. Bryce Young had a very good second half of the season. He is not some kind of awesome finished product, right? He is not some kind of all the way done, definitely give him a contract extension. He's not that. So we have it sitting right there at Bryce of America Stadium, which if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it's on the positive side, but it's not overflowing. We're not going to be forever young. We're not there yet. What is the most obvious thing that Bryce has learned from his career thus far? All right, some are going to say like, well, you gotta trust your receivers, or don't be afraid to throw it away. I think the most obvious thing that Bryce Young has learned is everything can change quick. He's been in the league for 2 years. He came into the league. He was the number 1 overall pick. The team that drafted him traded an insane amount to go up and get him with the number 1 overall pick. He was the starter from the first game he played, started top of the mountaintop. 1 season and 2 games later, he was the laughingstock of the league. He was benched for Andy Dalton. He was labeled a bust. He was deep in the valley. 10 games after that, he is the future of the team again. You can't go 2 steps without finding someone who's talking about how awesome he is.
Are we on the border of forever young? Gonna be young forever?
I'll go that far.
We're gonna go up that far?
I'm not putting it in the final slice. I'll
Okay.
put it as far without getting to the final slice. I'm fine with that. He's back on the top of the mountain right now. But what did he learn? He's 2 games away from being right down at the bottom, and it's not as if he's gotten to the point where established starters have, which is you've been good enough long enough that you can go through slumps and we don't get worried. Dan Morgan, the GM, spoke to the media yesterday, part of all the exit interviews, and he talked about Bryce Young handling adversity.
To see Bryce, kind of go through the benching and be out on the practice field on the scout team, and he took the same approach every single day, and Dave was working with him every single day, even on the scout team, just with little details, just little things that he wanted him to work on. And hey, Bryce, to his credit, like he never batted an eye. He came out every day with the same approach, with the same attitude, and I think that's what it says a lot about Bryce and who he is and why he's successful right now.
Here's what I think everybody needs the reminder of. From where Bryce was week 1, week 2 to where he is now, there may be 1,000 miles between there. There might be another 10,000 miles to go for him to reach elite or upper level starter in this league level football. It's important to understand that. Today, did you see what Garrett Wilson tweeted?
I did.
All right. Well, then I'll explain it to everybody else. I don't even know. Somebody, a Panthers fan account or somebody that covers Panthers, whatever, talks about the Panthers on Twitter, put a highlight film of Bryce Young up and said something along the lines of, he might be better than we thought. Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver for the Jets, who may or may not be asking for a trade, depending on which rumors you believe, just commented, he is, saying he is better than we thought. My first reaction is, I don't know, if he shows a little bit, if he's batting his eyes from across the bar, maybe the Panthers should think about it. He would be, and I tweeted this out, he'd be expensive. You'd have to trade a lot for him. You'd have to pay a lot for him, because I'm assuming he'd want a contract extension. But he would be a number 1 pick or a number 1 wide receiver for Bryce Young, and then I put in parentheses, or whoever that quarterback is. That drew a reaction immediately. Oh, whoever that quarterback is. Because now, all of a sudden, Bryce Young is so entrenched that it's ridiculous to think at some point in Garrett Wilson's career, somebody else would be the quarterback for the Panthers. That's not you're not there yet, Bryce. You're not there yet. You've come a long, long way. That's commendable. It may be the best in-season turnaround I've ever seen. You've got a long way to go. I'm gonna rein some people in here. Do you know how many times Bryce Young threw for 300 yards this season?
1, I believe.
I'm going to go ahead and double-check that because I'm fairly sure
It might be 0, actually.
The answer is 0. You said it confident, which got me. I was like, wait a second. I looked this up earlier. The answer is 0. He had 298 against Tampa Bay.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
In every other game, not even close. 263 is the highest. There's quite a few games that start with a 1 in the hundredths column of the yardage total.
That game against the Bucs was also an OT game.
Well put. So the only reason he got close is because of OT. In the NFL, if you're going to be even an average level starter, you have to have the occasional volume game where you throw for 300 yards. I'm not asking for 400. I'm asking for 305. His best game in yards per attempt, because it's not like he's attempting 10 passes per game. In that Bucks game, he threw 46 times. Against Kansas City, he threw 35 times. 37 against Denver. 34 in their most recent game against Atlanta. Finished with 251 yards. If you took his best game in yards per attempt, like the high water mark, the game that raises his average, if you take his highest game in yards per attempt, it was 7.8 against Dallas. If he averaged that for the season, 8th in the NFL. If he averaged his best yards per attempt in any one game, and he did that on average over an entire season, he'd be flirting with the top 10. There'd be a whole bunch of guys 7.7, a whole bunch of guys 7.9. He'd be somewhere in that mix. That's not enough to stand on. Now, what did we say at the beginning of the year? What did I say at the beginning of the year involving Bryce Young? I'm going to treat this year like his rookie year. Because last year, due to how he was treated, the players around him, right? It's not like DJ Chark, Jonathan Mingo, the guys he was throwing to last year went on to somewhere else. Emir Smith-Marset went on to somewhere else and had, 1,000 receiving yards. The players that he was surrounded by, the coaching situation, the lack of stability, last year was a wash. So coming into this year, I said, let's treat this year like his rookie year all over again. What are you looking for in a rookie? Flashes. The moment's not too big for him. The showing that his physical abilities are good enough and that the mental abilities are going to catch up. He did that. This year, he did that, especially after the benching. That's enough to say, you get next year. You get next year. 2025, it's Bryce Young's, and Dave Canales said as much. 2025, you're the guy. You have the whole offseason. Get ready, buddy, because you're the starter. I'm not picking up a fifth-year option yet. You don't even have to make that decision until next year, until after next season. A year from now, that offseason, which hopefully isn't right now, right? Because hopefully you're going in the postseason. A year and change from now is when you have to make the decision on a fifth-year option. I'm not doing anything yet. But that's not to downplay how far he's come. It's just to acknowledge how far that journey is. Give me a couple 350-yard passing games. Give me a couple. He had the 3-touchdown, 2 rushing touchdown game on Sunday. That's great. Give me more 3-touchdown games. I don't need 5, but give me more 3s. Give me more volume where you're number one on the scouting report. The other team's coming in saying we have to stop Bryce. That's what I'm looking for.
Do you think some of those yards are lower this season just because of the lack of guys, the receivers not getting yards after the catch?
Partially. And yes, we could do the context game on both sides, right? Because the other side is they trail a lot. They lose a lot. So you'd think you'd be trying to throw to get back in. How many times this year did we say, you got to trust Chuba Hubbard, get him the ball, stay dedicated to the run? If we're saying that, then, it's not like you're having plays where you're doing nothing. Like those are pass plays that we were thinking should have been run plays. So, the context game is there, right? And drops hurt your yardage totals for sure.
So I look at Jalen Coker led the team in yards after the catch with 171. That's 61st in the NFL.
Yes. But again, it's really hard to do that without a ton of film tape or film time because, one of the most important things in YAC is ball placement. Yards after the catch comes with a ball that you can catch while on the run without slowing down. If it's a little behind, that could bring it back. And I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying it's really hard to talk that context without going through a ton of film, which maybe we'll do over the offseason, right? When you don't have games to watch, maybe we can dive in and really get there. It's tough. That's all I'll say. 161 yards against New Orleans in game 1, 84 in game 2. Those numbers, I don't know how many. You got all the yak in the world. I don't know if you're gonna end up there. I guess obviously, a 263 game could turn into a 305 if you have really good yak. But It's just it's hard to go that far definitively without knowing through watching film. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We don't have to watch film tonight. We got a whole offseason to do that. So tonight, we'll be watching college basketball. Duke versus Pitt. It's not the pair we expected, but it's the two best teams in the ACC. Yeah, we'll explain how that happened coming up.
It's bowl season. Listen for college football's best through January 20th. Every major bowl will be brought to you live.
Touchdown! Travion Henderson, 66 yards, and the Rose Bowl route is on for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Bowl season on 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford, Amedios, and Roofworks.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Available in app only. T&Cs apply.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. 2025 needs to start clean. Get all that dirt from 2024 out of your carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, every surface in your house. Because in 2025, we're starting Zero Resified. Biggest sale of the year. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned, starting at just $109, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning while you're at it. Offer is open through January 31st, so visit ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com. Or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Cooper backs down Smith, goes right by him, missed the layup, dunks it down to say goodnight on the follow. 1:10 to go, the lead back to 11.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before the season, talking ACC basketball, and in a bunch of different ways, I said this season looks like Duke, UNC, Gap, the rest of the league. I thought those were going to be the kind of pillars on which everything was built. UNC hasn't been there. Duke has. Surprisingly, Pitt's stepped up. Clemson's stepped up a little bit.
I thought there were going to be tournament teams going into the year, but not like Duke, Gap, Pitt, Clemson, Gap.
If you look at, it's very true. That is exactly how it is. Duke, Gap, those two. If you look at Duke and Pitt, and you kind of cover up the eye test, which is in favor of Duke, they're kind of similar. Duke is 12-2, with their only losses being to the current 6th-ranked team in Kentucky and the current 22nd-ranked team in Kansas. Pitt is 12-2, their only losses to the current 14th-ranked team in Mississippi State and Wisconsin, who's also receiving votes now, but at the time was number 19. So, they neither have a bad loss. They're both looking like tournament teams. Pitt is also not ranked at the moment, although if you take the also receiving votes category, they are the most also receiving votes, so you could say they're ranked 26th in the top 25. I'm a big fan of Jeff Capel as a coach. We don't talk with him often, obviously being the Pitt coach, but we do at ACC tip-off, and every time he walks away from our table, I look at Dennis and I go like, I think I would, if I were a top recruit, I wouldn't mind committing to that guy. It just seems like he connects well. The other thing he does well over the last 2 years is he draws up two-headed monster offenses. Last year it was Blake Hinson, who's a stretch big man, shot the three a bunch, and Bub Carrington, who was a freshman and ended up in the lottery of the NBA draft. Was not that type of player coming into the year. He was a fringe top 100 recruit. Left as one of the top 14 players in the NBA draft. They have to replace both of them. Came in with Ish Leggett and Jalen Lowe. They're both averaging roughly 17.5 points per game. So they're tough to stop for the simple fact of if you put your best defender on one, the other can go off and vice versa. Duke is still favored by 14.5. If you made me choose between Pitt and Clemson, which is in that second tier that Dennis brought up, it's Duke, Gap, Pitt and Clemson, Gap, everyone else. If you made me pick one out of Pitt or Clemson, I'm taking Pitt just based on how they've played, which would put them as the second best team in the conference. Duke is favored by 14.5. That's going to be a conversation for the entire season. But on Duke's side, this is as good of a basketball challenge as you're going to get for the rest of the regular season. UNC, NC State, they provide some different challenges as far as emotion, environment. Certain road environments present different challenges. When you're Duke on the road, you have to tackle those. But from a basketball talent execution, how they've played up to this point, Pitt's played as well or better than everybody else in the conference. So this is as close as you're going to get to a fastball look. I did not expect to say that at the beginning of the year. I did not expect to have this one circled on my you got to watch it list, but here we are. It's why you don't play the games on paper. It's why you don't play the games with recruiting rankings and just count how many 4 and 5 stars you have.
Would it be better for the ACC to Pitt to win this game?
Probably.
Because that would boost their net ratings, and which would then in turn boost everyone else's?
Yes. I mean, that it is quite vital for the ACC that Pitt passes the eye test here.
Yeah.
You can't lose by 25. Because then you get put into the same bucket as the Virginia Techs of the world, who are not living up to expectations this year, and that can happen. Pitt has to, from the ACC's perspective, give Duke a sweat. So at least when Jay Billis is on the bracketologists at the end of the year, he can say, and they gave top 5 team in the country, Duke, a run for their money back in January. It is vital that they give a run. 14.5 points. I mean, you have to play. They're going to play to win the game. Let's not get carried away. Everybody in college basketball does. I'm setting like the success ranking at like 6.5. If you keep it within 3 buckets, right? 3 2-point buckets. If you keep it 6 or less in the final score, that's good for the ACC. I also, and this is where it gets kind of nonsensical, because if Duke plays their best brand of basketball, they'll win by a bunch. I do think they need sweats, right? They need reps late in games that are close. They need, because it's really one of the only things they haven't done well, is being one-possession games late and not turn it over. It's really one of the few things they haven't done well. So if Pitt can give you a good sweat, if they can make it a 2-possession game with 4 minutes left, you're not going to be happy with the basketball you played up until then. The first 36 minutes, you're not going to be jacked up about it if it's a 2-possession game that late. But I think everybody on that team needs as many opportunities to show that they've improved and fixed the flaws in close late games. And that's not just limited to the freshmen. It's not just limited to players. I think John Shire needs as many reps as possible in those situations. Sometimes we forget that guy's still a young coach. And I'm not saying that Coach K doesn't empower his assistants, but I mean, he's calling the timeouts at the end of close games. It's
still just a third-year head coach.
He's not. Coach K wasn't looking around going, "What do you think, John? I'm confused here. Should I call a timeout?" It's he had decades and decades and decades of gut instinct that Shire doesn't have yet. So there's two kind of storylines here. One is we get to find out how legit Pitt is. Two is could be one of the last few opportunities for Duke to really get their pulse going. And I'm not saying they'll be upset. They're not going to sweep through everything smooth. It's too many freshmen. There's too many nights in a row. I'm confident Duke will lose in the ACC somewhere. It's just this is an opportunity for the other team to be the reason why you get the sweat rather than you just show up flat and another team takes advantage of it. And that's not disrespectful to the rest of the ACC. It's just a fact. You watch the games, you look at the stats, you look at the advanced analytics, you look at the spreads. It is Duke, gap. Pitt, Clemson, gap, everybody else. Subject to be changed later if you do something worthwhile and worthy of moving you up and down. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I just mentioned paying attention to spreads. Well, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Playoffs? We're talking playoffs? Darn right we are. We're talking NFL playoffs. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And what's key to winning in the playoffs? Gut, grit, hard work. Also, having more points than the other team. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. It's a great way to make maybe your first bet, right? Something super simple, easy to root for, like picking a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick, then track the game, have a little bit of fun. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. I'll tell you how right now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD. Use that code, no spaces, at sign up in the promo slot there. And new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we spread some positivity. The Dean's List. Who's not getting enough love? We pass out some love. Pass out some flowers to some college athletes from the area. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
I know it's the NFL's world and we're all living in it, but next holiday season, can we just get a little bit of a breather? I don't need 40-7 blowouts on Saturdays. Put that all on NFL Sunday Ticket. I'll watch it on Red Zone over the weekend. Just spare me a little time to catch my breath, will you?
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. Way back in the mid to late 80s, rates were all over the map, much as they are today. And what bothered me the most was seeing homeowners constantly chasing lower rates by paying upwards of $15,000 in closing costs each time. There had to be a better way, considering no one was keeping their new loan long enough to truly benefit. So it was during that time that Miller Lending discovered a way to offer a true no-closing cost loan. With nothing charged or rolled in, customers were now able to realize immediate savings, as even a drop of 0.5% could save them thousands of dollars over the life of a new loan. Imagine eliminating the need for timing as you simply close on today's rates and refinance as soon as something better comes along. Fact is, Miller Lending hates closing costs. So before you throw away thousands of dollars chasing a rate you may not like a year from now, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS number 2502146.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Is your plumbing outdated or just not getting the job done? Call Newcomb & Company to see how we can help get your home operating at peak performance. Our experienced plumbers can repair or replace faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
An army never rests. The same is true for the Salvation Army of Wake County. Serving the most vulnerable populations in our community, the Army shelters the homeless, feeds the hungry, provides after-school and youth athletic programs, senior programs, and responds to natural disasters. Beyond the red kettle and Christmas bell ringing, the Army is there to help those in need all year long. Learn more at wakearmy.org. The Salvation Army. We love beyond the holidays.
With Pettiford defending him. Drives, steps through, got it blocked from behind, ricocheted around, 2 to shoot. Proctor has it at the buzzer. Hits a 3! Cold-blooded Tyrese Proctor!
Little hints on who might be on the Dean's list here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Dean's List is something we implemented to highlight the good in the college sports world, particularly those that we cover. It just seems like there's a lot of negativity, a lot of complaining going on in college sports recently. A lot of coaches leaving, talking about how bad it is. This isn't the sport I love. Players aren't the same. So we said, let's highlight the good. Let's hook them up with the Dean's List, an honor that just highlights those that aren't being given enough love. Class is in session. This is going to be a rare start to the Dean's List here because this player is one of the most celebrated players in college basketball history. R.J. Davis works his way onto the Dean's List. The defending ACC Player of the Year, the defending Jerry West Award winner, is the best shooting guard in the entire country, a postseason All-American last year, a preseason All-American this year. Here's why R.J. Davis is in the Dean's List for me this week. I haven't seen any pouting. And I don't know how many, and I don't even want to call them divas, but if you're at any point in time like a truly top-of-the-line elite player and your production goes significantly down, your efficiency goes significantly down, you came into the season with super lofty goals, and it's obvious some of those are already off the table. Things like becoming the all-time leading scorer in UNC history. You would have had to score one more point than you did last year. You averaged pretty decent over 20 last year. You're averaging like 17. I mean, you'd have to go on a real streak to catch that. Maybe you're seeing your shots and your attempts and your usage going to a freshman. You are a fifth-year senior. With all those accolades I mentioned, Ian Jackson has been the leading scorer the last 4 games. To not ever, publicly at least, oh, come on, give me my shots. To not ever publicly in a post-game media session go, I don't get to be one of the sides where the shots are going. You got to talk to coach. To not ever do anything like that. I just think it deserves a little bit. And by the way, am I celebrating like the bare minimum? Yeah, but when so many don't do it, got to give them a little hat tip. If we're going to absolutely crush players that do pout, the ones that don't, we have to acknowledge as well. Tyrese Proctor, you heard that highlight coming out of break. Tyrese Proctor is on the Dean's list, and we talked about this for a second yesterday, but I want to officially put him on the Dean's list. I love to see players who recognized something in their game that wasn't up to their standard and then did something about it. The numbers that I talked about yesterday, and I'll relay them here. Tyrese Proctor is a third-year player. He is a junior. But let's acknowledge that his freshman year at Duke was supposed to be his senior year of high school. He reclassified up.
Yeah, he's a youngin'.
So he's a young junior. His freshman year, which was supposed to be his senior in high school, he shot 32% from three. His sophomore year, last year, he shot 35.2% from three, which, I mean, just that is a massive improvement. 35%, you want it to be more, but, you know, certain non-shooters can live with 35. This season, he's upped it to 41.7% from three. That's good ball. That's good effort. That's good work. And it's not as if he's only like, he's only taking wide open shots. No, end of the shot clock, he still puts them up. He's not too precious with the percentage. I always think it's funny when guys at like the end of the first half don't take the half court shot. And I'm going like, oh, you're really worried about that miss? Really worried about adding a lower shooting percentage? He's not doing that. If he has the ball at the end of the shot clock, he launches, and he's actually made a couple of them this year from deep. I'm very impressed by a player that recognizes a deficiency and fixes it. You can tell in the offseason he put in the work. He's a more confident shooter. If he can shoot 40 plus, even if he doesn't stay all the way up at 41.7, if he can shoot 39.5 or more, so it rounds up, NBA scouts will love that. Duke will love that. His teammates will love that. Shire will love that. It'll be a good day. Do you have one you want to add, Dennis?
I actually do.
All right, go ahead.
Hunter Salas.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I'm throwing Hunter Salas on there, they finally got that road win because they didn't have really anything last year.
Wake Forest, by the way, Hunter Salas, leading scorer, professional level scorer for Wake.
In their road win last week against Syracuse, played all 40 minutes. Played all 40 minutes, 23 points as the primary ball handler, scorer, everything that team needs. Played all 40 minutes. Props to that guy.
Steve Forbes this year, and he didn't start this way, but he's kind of becoming a more player-friendly like Tom Thibodeau, where he's like, hey, you're going to play huge minutes, you 7 guys. You better show up ready to work on a game day because if I can't take you out, you're not coming out. Speaking of, my player also comes from Wake Forest. It's Juke Harris. And again, it's another player that I've referenced. Against NC State, kind of along the lines of what we were just saying, Wake Forest played 7 guys. We're talking 5th-year seniors, 4th-year seniors, transfers that played multiple years at other schools, transferred into Wake and are building off of that experience, guys that have been through the ringer. Juke Harris is a freshman. He came off the bench, one of 2 players that didn't start but played at all, scored 17 points. When you see like one freshman in a group of senior core and they trust the freshman, I always want to go like, I wonder what this player did at practice or in training camp or in non-conference schedule that made everybody cool with him. Because they don't have to be. They could go, we don't need the freshman. Let him watch. Let him learn. When you trust the freshman, you've done something to earn some respect. And Juke Harris has done that, so credit to him. He's on the Dean's list. Credit to all those players earning a little bit of extra sizzle. That's the Dean's list. Class dismissed. You have 5 minutes to get to your next class. If you're in the hallway, I always thought that was funny. If you're in the hallway when the next bell starts, I'm like, well, when the bell runs, then never mind. Teachers out there are like, oh, you're one of those. Yep, took me a while to walk. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, UNC versus SMU. Tonight, we're talking men's basketball. Ooh, actually, We have a let me make sure, let me double check this. It's not Panthers related.
Okay.
But it may be a little bit of breaking news in the NFL. Adam Schefter tweets out, the Raiders have fired head coach Antonio Pierce.
Oh.
Per a Adam Schefter source.
Okay.
Raiders have now gone from, this is from Schefter, John Gruden, who resigned in 2021, to Josh McDaniels, who was fired in 2023, to now firing Pierce in 2025.
Man.
Do you know, then all of these, so that now enters into, I would put that at the level of Jets, the bottom tier of openings in the NFL. Is that fair?
Yeah, the Jets.
The top tier being
probably Patriots.
I put Patriots and maybe Jacksonville, because you have at least your quarterbacks.
At least you know who it's going to
be.
be.
No, sorry. Patriots and Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jacksonville. Then there's some slop, and I'd throw the Raiders into the slop.
Yeah.
Saints.
Yeah.
The Raiders are doing something that I don't think is bad, but I think is bold. I believe they're going all in on letting Tom Brady steer this franchise.
Really?
Tom Brady, part owner of the Raiders. It's already been discussed that he's going to have say in who their next quarterback is going to be. I believe he will now have a heavy say in who their next coach is going to be.
Bill Belichick?
No, yeah, because those guys ended on such good terms. Calling up his old buddy Billy. No, Billy's in Charlotte right now wearing a suit in a high school somewhere, recruiting. Here's why I think it's I would say just a little bit trepidatious if you're going to go all in on Tom Brady. There are different skill sets to being all-time greats at different things, and sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we assume if you're an all-time great at one thing, it translates, and it doesn't always. If it did, Tom Brady would have been a much better broadcaster this year. If it did, he would have jumped into the booth and he would have been, dare I say, early Tony Romo-like. But instead, we got a lot of generic kind of cliche, wow, what a play. Oh, that's a throw. I think you should look for people that do a better job at evaluating coaches. So if they lean too hard into the Tom Brady thing, I think you're going to have to watch him have growing pains in multiple industries after leaving being the greatest quarterback of all time, because, being able to throw the down and out doesn't really help you pick a quarterback or pick a coach, just like it doesn't help you speak on a color commentary. There's a lot going on there. But the Raiders, they're open. They likely will be looking for a new quarterback this year. If there's any positive, it is Brock Bowers, who was a stud at tight end. Anything you'd like to add to the Antonio Pierce before we go back to college basketball?
Surprised it took an extra day. That's really all.
Yeah, the Mark Davis wasn't going to do anything
true.
efficiently. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. One last time, just for those of you just tuning in, Adam Schefter reporting that his source has the Raiders firing Antonio Pierce, their head coach. Now let's get back to college basketball, because tonight, UNC versus SMU, the old tried and true ACC rivalry, conference game, North Carolina, SMU. Once again, we can start at the very, very most simple way to look at this game, which is UNC, just like they were against Notre Dame, is on a win by any means necessary situation. People like me, people like the fan base will complain and debate and break down a win if it's by one, like we did after Notre Dame. But what a win does, by an inch or a mile, what it does is it gives you more time to figure out whatever the heck is going on, or whatever the heck your solution is going to be to some problems that have emerged. If you get a win, you kick the deadline into the future a few more days. So it is a win by any means necessary situation. If you have to go, like we said earlier, Tom Thibodeau, and play 6 guys the whole game because those are the ones that are getting it done, you do it. If you shorten the rotation, if you lean on the freshmen, if you got to play 4 corners and wait to the end of every shot clock, whatever it is, you do it.
We saw Hubert Davis back in their national championship game run a couple of years ago basically go 6 guys.
If that's what you are backs against the wall, even though it's January 7th. You are backs against the wall, win by any means necessary. I have to give a shout-out to Cheryl McMillan of Inside Carolina because he tweeted this out.
Okay.
When I'm talking about, like, the problems that you need to address, this illustrates it very well. McMillan tweeted, since 1951, so we're going a ways back here.
A little bit of time ago.
Every single Carolina team since 1951 has had at least one player average 5.6 or more rebounds per game. Every single team since the mid-19th century has had at least one player average 5.6 rebounds per game. That includes the era when you could go four corners and make a couple possessions. That includes the era of non-three-point shooting. It gets introduced. It includes every era. They've had at least one player average 5.6 rebounds per game. As of right now, no one on North Carolina's roster is averaging 5 rebounds per game. Jalen Washington, exactly. Jalen Washington leads the team with 4.9 rebounds per game. There's your problem. There it is, right? That's the arc of it. That's showing what is wrong. You can get by as a small team if you rebound above your weight class. You can get by as a small team if you shoot the three extremely well. There's nothing that says you need to have 6'10", 6'11", 7-footers to contend, but there are certain things that you need to be able to make up for if you're going to be a small team. One of them is rebounding. There's really only two ways to do it. One, you rebound what I call above your weight class, right? You're more aggressive, you hustle more, you box out more, you're in better position, and you rebound with taller teams, even though you're not the same size, length, everything else. The other is you shoot such a high percentage that you don't miss shots, so there's less rebounding to go around. That's the challenge. That's in and of it, like, there's the mission. Right? I don't know why. Every time I say there's the mission, I think there's a whose line is it anyway game where it's like, oh, your mission is, you have to find a way to rebound with the bigger teams. This message will self-destruct as soon as you. That's your mission. It's simple. How do you solve it? Yeah, if I had that answer, I'd be wearing cool shoes and Carolina blue blazers like Hubert Davis. It's not easy, but you've put yourself in this situation. Right? There's 0% chance, and this is a credit to UNC. It's a credit to the basketball program. It's a credit to everything they have going on. They could have gotten a big guy in some form of recruiting, right? They could have gotten a starting quality big out of the portal or out of high school or somewhere because they're North Carolina. If you struck out on some gigantic, massive 5-star recruits, you could have got the 3-star starter, the 4-star starter. So there's an element of you chose to be here, now you got to make it work. I also have thought about this. Seth Trimble, by the way, expected to be back today.
Yeah, I know he just started practicing. Hubert Davis talked about it yesterday that he's got at least one full practice in, I think.
They're hoping his effectiveness, his minutes, we'll have to wait and see. But that's fascinating because the last time Seth Trimble played was against UCLA. That was the first of 4 consecutive games that Ian Jackson has scored 23 or more. So in the 3 games Trimble's missed, the team has inherently changed, especially on the perimeter. Where does Seth Trimble fit in? And here's something, I don't know if it's crazy. Here's something that might be crazy. But the answer may have been right under our nose. Like we may be looking on the horizon and we just need to look maybe behind us. The returning UNC contributors from last season, I think they may have been used the best way for their skill sets last season. Seth Trimble, what was he last year for UNC? He was a great defender. He was a sparky offensive player, a little streaky, but he would try to dunk on you. He would try to get out in transition. He would try to use his athleticism. This year, when especially when he was healthy, he was more of a volume scorer. I don't think that's the best way to use him. I think it's better if he gets his offense on the defensive end. RJ Davis, what was he last year? Even if we couldn't really tell, talking with players in the ACC, they've kind of confirmed this. He was playing off of another great player, taking advantage of great looks when the defense focused on Armando Bacot. This year, he's been more of a focal point of the offense, hasn't shot the same percentage. Elliot Cadeau, what was he last year? He was the ultimate setup man. Looking twice to pass before once to shoot. I think they may want to look more into the realm of the roles they were playing last year. In a weird way, and this is where I said it might sound crazy, I think you kind of have to use Ian Jackson to replace Armando Bacot and Drake Powell to replace Harrison Ingram. Now you may be going, wait a second, you're taking the point guard and you're replacing.
I say one's much bigger than the other.
Yeah, exactly. It's you're not replacing him as far as a rebounder. You're not replacing him as far as a back to the basket scorer, Ian Jackson for Armando Bacot, but you're replacing him as the gravitational pull. He's the one that can be effective despite the opposing team making him their number one priority to stop. And once that happens, once the other team knows you're going to be the guy taking the most shots, we need to focus on you, that is what opens up R.J. Davis for the good looks that he was used to a season ago. That's what allows Seth Trimble to crash the boards, use his athleticism to rebound, because I mentioned Jalen Washington is the leader in rebounds. Seth Trimble is second in per-game rebounds. He can be, because he can leap, one of those guys that can go down there and help a small team rebound against bigger teams. And then Drake Powell to Harrison Ingram, part of that is just a body. Like, he can do a little bit of everything, right? Harrison Ingram was the guy, if you needed rebounded, he walked out of there with 19 rebounds. You needed shooting, he walked out of there with 3 of 5 from 3. Drake Powell has a bit of that Swiss Army knife where he can change his role game to game. Most players simply can't do that. They just don't have every tool in their toolbox.
I'm curious to see tonight if we're going to get the lineup on the floor that we saw Hubert Davis used against UCLA, where you had Cadeau, Davis, Jackson, Seth Trimble all on the floor together, and whether it was Van Allen Lubin or Jalen Washington or Jalen Withers down in the post as the 5, basically like 4 and 1. I'm wondering if we're going to see those 4 guards on the floor at different times tonight, because it was effective against UCLA, because UCLA had not seen it yet, and other teams really haven't seen it yet. I'm curious to see if Hubert Davis is going to draw something up with those 4 on the floor.
I hope so. I mean, there's no reason to be precious with the lineup now, right? I'd try it.
The margin for error is razor thin for UNC basketball right now.
You kind of have to roll through the conference if you want to be in an at-large conversation.
You really do.
And not be just at the point where we got to win the ACC tournament to get in. Now let's turn towards UNC football. From the basketball team to the football team. Those Carolina blue plaid blazers I was talking about with Hubert Davis. Turns out Bill Belichick has gotten himself a few. I'm giving Bill Belichick, the football coach, a lot of likability points for how he is attacking his job as the UNC head football coach. He continues to prove that he is a football psycho. And I say that positively. He is earnest as heck. He just wants to put together a good team. And he's like, what do I have to do to get the talent on the roster? Do you know what Bill Belichick did yesterday? He joined Twitter, or X. He joined X.
Wow. Way to get into it.
This is the guy that for 20 years was calling it my face every time anyone talked about social media when he was with the Patriots. Like, he's like, do I have to change? What do you want me to do?
What's his AOL Instant Messenger? Did you just get one of those too?
Exactly. He's on MySpace. He's doing what he thinks it takes to put together a good roster. He's in Charlotte today. He is going around to high schools. He's wearing a suit and tie as he goes to high schools. I can't emphasize this enough. You don't have to do that. If you're a coach recruiting at high schools, a team polo and some khakis is plenty. A team jacket with the logo on the shoulder there, the breast there, that's good. He's rolling up in a shirt and tie with the jacket on top, like the intern who doesn't need to wear it but is trying to impress you on the first day. And you're like, listen, man, I love the attitude, love that you're trying to dress for the job you want rather than the one you have. But tomorrow, wear something more comfortable. Most guys become a football coach because they don't want to have to wear a suit and tie to work every day. I saw a high school coach tweet out that not only did Belichick show up to recruit one of his players, but he talked ball with the coach and gave him some advice based on film of one of the games the coach called. That's absurd. Bill Belichick, your player, we're really excited about the defensive end. We think he's got good bend. He's, I'm going to tear her off the edge. By the way, on third down, explain to me that flood concept you had on the rollout pass there. I think there's a better way to attack it. He's doing that completely, again, earnestly, because I do think college coaches do that kind of stuff because they just want to build up awesome relationships with that high school coach.
It's 100% what it is.
Except, he knows the roster. If there's not a stud sophomore on the roster, he doesn't – Bill Belichick's not like, hey, man, if there's a sixth grader that's good, I want you to let me know. He's 73 years old. He's not worried about the class of 2032. He's doing it, I believe, because he's a football psycho and he can't help it. If you ever bump into him publicly and you ask him for a selfie, you'll probably get a selfie. But if you want to have a half-hour conversation, ask him about the splits on an option play. Why should the offensive line be the distance they are apart from each other on a RPO? And watch him go nuts. Deion Sanders, who many have equated the hiring process of Belichick to Sanders as kind of NFL superstars, famous, similar sizzle. The reports are that Deion Sanders has not gone to a single high school in the 5 years he's been a college coach. He does I'll send my assistants there. You come to campus to talk to me. Belichick is out there grinding tape, recruiting players in his Sunday best, and talking to high school coaches about what he learned on that film. He doesn't have to do that. There's I'm sure somebody very smart said it in some kind of commencement address to high schoolers somewhere. But there's this thought of think about what you would do if money was no object, and then find a way to get someone to pay you to do it. And that's the key to a fulfilling career. Find something that you would do for free and then find some way to get paid for it. There's no doubt in my mind Bill Belichick just found $10 million per year to do something that he would love doing anyway. There's something cool about that. To have all that success, to have all those Super Bowls, to have all those wins in the NFL, and he still just wants to get in a room with some football obsessive people and talk ball. Shout out to Bill. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And I don't get to say this very often. Hopefully I will more in the future. Shout out to the Panthers. You looked good as a unit yesterday in your media availabilities. I'll tell you what I took away from Dan Morgan, David Tepper had a comment, Dave Canales. What did we take away from the Panthers yesterday? Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Natchez heads up. Back to Orlov. He scores! A 1-2 punch from Dmitry Orlov. It's 3-2 on Orlov, second of the game.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Back to Slavin. He shot right on. Rebounds out in front. Chance out front. They score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res. And right now, Zero Res has the biggest sale ever going on in celebration of the new year. Make sure you get all that 2024 dirt behind and look ahead to 2025. That's right, out the door 2024. We're feeling fresh, clean, and zero resified in 2025. Right now, the best part is it's all gone from 2024. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your house can be zero resified and leave that dirt behind. The offer right now, 3 rooms of carpets cleaned starting at just $109 and take an additional $100 off your air ducts cleaning. The offer is valid through January 31st, so be sure to get on it now. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000 and ask for the 99.9 The Fan Station Special. Spell it forward or backward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday on this Tuesday, plenty of sunshine, but it's windy and cold. The wind chill only reaches the 30s this afternoon. The wind backs off overnight, mainly clear in the low to mid 20s. And we're mostly sunny Wednesday, highs in the low to mid 40s. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon is down 177 points to 42,528.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. Yesterday, I felt like I wouldn't want to say a proud papa. I was like a proud neighbor. Watching the kid down the street that I watched grow up, like, do something awesome with their life. And I'm like, I don't know if I had much to do with it, but I've been here for the ride, so I just appreciate that it's taken place. The Panthers have the alignment that we've been saying they need for a long time. And it's the first time it's felt this way in a long time. Right? We jokingly nicknamed the Dave Canales, Dan Morgan hiring as the alignment because they said it so often. And I often say the 4 horsemen of the franchise need to be in alignment, that being owner, GM, head coach, quarterback. If all of those 4 are on the same page, your franchise is on the right side of things. When Scott Fitterer was the GM and Matt Rule was there or Frank Reich was there or David Tepper was meddling, they were darn sure never on the same page. Most times, I don't even know if they were in the same library.
Marty Herney?
I mean, we can go on and on down the list. Really, since Tepper's been there, the alignment has been
Tepper.
Not there. Not there. Yesterday, it did feel aligned. And here's what I mean. Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator, was retained. Okay? That gives yourself the opportunity to show off how on the same page or how not on the same page you are, because one might say that's not the obvious decision. When you give up more points, raw total, most total points in a season in the history of the NFL, keeping the defensive coordinator is some people aren't going to agree with that. Dennis, I know you did some deep dives into how bad this defense was. Yeah, there you go. He's bringing out the notebook. Go ahead and illustrate how quite frankly horrendous the defense was this year.
So looking at the lack of big plays that this team has made, just the last 2 years, 3 times, the number is 3, Tim, that the Carolina Panthers have sacked the quarterback and also forced a fumble on that same play. Just 3 times in the last 2 years.
So 3 strip sacks.
3 strip sacks.
Wow.
It was week 1, the third play of the game against the Atlanta Falcons. Brian Burns had one. That was the only one all of last season. This year, week 2, it was a Jaden PV, DJ Johnson combination against Justin Herbert in week 2, and then DJ Wanham on Jalen Hurts against Philadelphia in week 14. That's it. That's it.
They're not getting to the quarterback enough overall, and then obviously once they're getting there, they're not
doing
attacking the football.
Sack percentage last season, dead last in the NFL. Red zone defense also in the bottom third of the NFL each of the last 2 seasons. If you also look at just splash plays made by the defense, they had 2 pick sixes last year. One was by Sam Franklin against Minnesota, the Vikings. The other one was by Troy Hill in garbage time against the Miami Dolphins on the road. That's the only 2 defensive touchdowns he had last year. This year, 0 defensive touchdowns. Like, no big plays coming from this defense at all. Also, if you look at just the number of takeaways per game, this season for the Carolina Panthers, they averaged 1 takeaway per game as a team, 20th in the NFL. Last year, 2023, when you had Burns, Luvu, Derek Brown, 0.6, dead last in the NFL.
I'm hearing the words dead last a lot.
Yes. Also, if you look at, again, splash plays, defense, interception percentage. So this is the amount of times that the opposing quarterback has thrown an interception over the course of a season. 1.7% this year, 24th in the NFL. Last year, 1.66%, 24th in the NFL.
Not good.
Not good.
So keeping the defensive coordinator, by the way, they have access to all the numbers that Dennis has.
Yeah.
And then some. They have analytics departments. Keeping your defensive coordinator after that season, after the last 2 seasons, with all those stats being what they are, that better be an all-in move. And everyone in the alignment has an issue there, or has not an issue, has a role. Dave Canales, what did he do? Came out, said it with his chest. Evero will be the defensive coordinator next year. And then Dan Morgan, the GM, another member of that alignment, came to the podium. And what did he do? He didn't just blindly back. He didn't just distance himself and say, well, it's going to have to be better next year. He didn't do any of that. He attracted the blame like a leader should. When things go poorly, attract blame. When things go well, deflect credit. Dan Morgan put it on him to put together better defensive personnel.
I love EJ. I love his defense. I think it's a really good scheme. But again, I have to do my part as well. You know, me and my staff of putting really good players on the field and adding really good pieces to the defense. And, you know, again, the young guys are developing on the defensive side of the ball. There's some young guys that, you know, we're excited about there. You know, and just some cornerstone guys that we have on defense, too, that we're excited to get back with Derek Brown and JC.
That's exactly what a group that knows the message would say. Dan Morgan goes out there, it's on me. I have to do this. EJ's doing exactly what we want. We love his system. You got to love up on the guys that just got their teeth kicked in. That's what this season was for the defensive coordinator for the Panthers. Dan Morgan continued on how he's going to fix the defense.
I'm not really into quick fixes. I don't think there's such thing as a quick fix. So obviously you want to fix things as soon as possible, but I'm just going to go into it as, hey, listen, we know where we were on the defensive side of the ball. We do have to continue to add playmakers on that side of the ball. So I just think we have to look at every avenue and explore every avenue to find those playmakers. And hey, if we find somebody and we like somebody, you know, whether trade, whether draft, whether free agency, we're going to explore every path.
And he's managing expectations. There's no quick fix. Don't expect us to be 100% better right away. Give us time. That's what he's saying. I don't know if Dan Morgan believes anything he said. But saying it, regardless of whether you believe it, if you do believe it, perfect. Even better. If you don't, saying it is still the right thing to do once you decide to bring Evero back. Dave Canales has Evero's back, backing him up publicly. Dan Morgan attracting blame so it doesn't pile up on Evero. Then they all get to work on fixing it. And do you know what might be the best part about it? Do you know what is the best part about yesterday? David Tepper has said almost nothing. It's been a long time since he had, like, high-profile decisions are made, and he said almost nothing. He's been quoted kind of hyping up Bryce Young. He's been quoted saying, it's a longer run when talking about Dave Canales and Dan Morgan. David Tepper's been a good owner this year. Now, that's, 1 year out of a handful, and, it takes a lot longer than one to make you forget the past, but this is as good as the alignment has been. Bryce Young is in alignment with the coaches for the first time in his career. I don't think they were using him best at the beginning of the year. I definitely don't think they were using him best last year, but the coaches are starting to see how he sees the game, calling a better game for him. The head coach and the GM are tag teaming the proper way to communicate on exit interviews about your defensive coordinator, and the owner is supporting them with their silence. That is as good as the owner, GM, head coach, quarterback line of communication, line of competence has been for the Panthers in a very long time. As long as those four stay on the same page, those four trust each other, those four continue to develop alongside each other and have each other's back, dare I say you can make mistakes. You're not going to get every draft pick right. Bryce Young's not going to be a linear, straight-up path to being a MVP. He's going to have lulls, right? Dave Canales is going to mishandle situations. But as long as those four continue to trust each other, Dave Tepper continues to stay out of the way, Dan Morgan continues to draft pretty darn well, Dave Canales continues to get better each and every day as a coach, and Bryce Young is more the second half of this year Bryce Young than first half and last year Bryce Young, Panthers have a core they can build off of. I like to talk about the Ravens' positions on defense, because if you look at the best Ravens, they always had a good defensive tackle, they always had a good middle linebacker and a good safety. Think like Haloti Ngata, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Right? They built through the middle. And then you can figure everything else out as long as you're stout in the middle. Same thing here. If you have a good quarterback that trusts his head coach, the head coach is good and trusts his GM, the GM is good and trusts his coach, and the same thing in reverse, you start there and you build out from it. It is a firm foundation. Yesterday, the Panthers had that. I just want to talk about how unusual it felt. I'm going like, well, who's going to say something stupid this time? Who's going to misspeak? Who's going to – wait, they're all doing it right. Look at that. Media availability, done. Nobody put their foot in their mouth. Congratulations. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on and get to the ladder challenge, which I'm still on a little bit of a heater, before we get there, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The action is heating up this playoff season at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Lock in your touchdown picks, check out trending parlays, and increase your winnings with Profit Boost. New customers can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win, and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code RADIO to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Not only do we have our ladder challenge coming up, also, At about 4:33, we're going to ask you for first goal scorer predictions. The Canes play tonight in Tampa. Who scores the first goal and in what period do they score it? We'll ask for those calls at about 4:33. So start thinking. Start cranking the old brain waves on who will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period will they score. There'll be a sweet prize from Apex Racing Lab on the line. Get ready for that. Ladder Challenge coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I don't understand why people can't wrap their minds around that the college football universe is going to be vastly different than it's ever been. We might not recognize it based on what happened last year, let alone 5 years ago. What's to say that Bill Belichick won't be the first of many NFL coaches to take over a college program?
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
We're getting crushed out here. What's going on with you, Nick? You used to be the unstoppable king of flag football.
I'm feeling my age. At 40, I feel like I can't keep up anymore.
Is it lower testosterone?
Lower T?
Yeah, when you turn 40, you have less testosterone. It's harder to stay lean and get the same results you used to get. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I know Nugenix. It really gives you an edge.
No question. At work, the gym, the bedroom, Nugenix turned back the clocks. Now I've got the same energy that I did in my 20s.
I want to try Nugenix.
All right, time out. Guys, go text Nugenix and get yourselves a complimentary bottle to try.
Text TEAR to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TEAR to 42424. That's TEAR to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Across the ring, Orloff shot, save made, rebound, game over! Sebastian Aho fills the lane, and his 600th career point gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes play tonight. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan against Tampa. First goal scorer predictions due in a few minutes here. 4:33 is when we anticipate opening up the phone lines. So be prepared with who you think is going to score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score that first goal. Right now it is time for the Ladder Challenge. So let's go ahead and fire that bad boy up. Ladder Challenge, the rules of the game are simple. Both Dennis and I pick a likely to win bet. So it's between minus 500 and minus 1,000 for the gamblers out there. And we try to roll over the stake, the winnings, and everything every single day. Hit a likely to win bet at the end of the month. Whoever has the most money is the winner. If you flame out, if your bet loses, you get to start back at $10. I am up to $15.68. But I'd like to think, because the way this works, right, the way compound interest works, is it starts slow, feels like you're making very little money, and then at a certain point you look down and you've doubled, tripled, more than that, your money. So I'm grinding through the early stages. Dennis, did you hit yesterday?
I did.
Okay.
So I'm up to $11.48.
All right. As the leader with my 1568. I hit with Jalen Brunson, 18-plus points. He had 24.
Nice.
Nice, easy winner. Tonight I am going to the Duke PITT basketball game.
Okay.
Duke is a 14.5-point favorite just on the spread. I have teased that all the way down to Duke minus 4.5. So I took 10 points off the spread. I get it at minus 580. So Duke minus 4.5 over Pitt. That'll be turn my $15.68 into $18.38 as long as Duke can win by at least 5. I just think they're head and shoulders above everyone in the ACC, and Pitt is one of the few teams that they'll show up ready, necessary, like they understand that this could easily be the second best team in the ACC, so they're going to want to make a statement. That statement is probably a double-digit win. All I need is 5. So as long as they win by 5, I'm in there and making it a winner.
So I had the Washington Capitals plus 2.5 yesterday. They actually lost in a shootout, so plus 2.5 was perfect. Vegas Golden Knights, they faced the San Jose Sharks. Vegas, best team in the league. San Jose, not one of the best teams in the league. Give me the Vegas Golden Knights. Tease that puck line to plus 1.5 for Vegas. That's a minus 700. So that $11.48 would turn into $13.12.
1.5. You're at risk of getting empty nettered there.
I understand what's at stake.
I love 2.5. 1.5s make me nervous when we're looking for these likely to win bets. So there you have it. We'll continue to track. Whichever one of us has the most money at the end of the month will be the winner. Now let's go ahead and jump into Cop or Drop.
Well, I'm dropping.
Dennis, what are we copping? What are we dropping? What are we doing here?
We know that the Carolina Panthers have the 8th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Cop or drop if the Carolina Panthers trade back?
Drop. I think they're looking for difference makers. We played the audio of Dan Morgan earlier today. He needs to find playmakers, particularly on defense, is what he was talking about in that clip. But I also think the offense needs playmakers. What stat did you bring up about the yards after catch?
Their highest this year in yards after catch was Jalen Coker at 171 yards, 61st in the NFL.
That is an undrafted rookie free agent that missed multiple games due to injury.
Played in 11 games.
And he was your number one yak guy. You drafted Jonathan Brooks for some sizzle, right? Supposed to be a big play guy. He blew out his knee. Chuba Hubbard, who was your best offensive player, for all the things we love about Chuba Hubbard, he's not really a threat to take it 40, 50, 60 yards every time he touches it like some running backs around the league. I think both the offense and the defense need big-time pop, right? They need the big-time playmakers. And the further you go down in the draft, you can find good players, you can find solid starters, you can find a bunch of them. It's less likely to find those truly, electric every time they get on the field players. So I think they stick and pick at 8 unless their socks are blown off by, if a quarterback tumbles and then somebody wants a quarterback and they're willing to trade the world, I think you change that a little bit. But I think they need some headliners, if you will.
All right, cop or drop. The Carolina Panthers sign a number 1 wide receiver in free agency this offseason. Cop or drop?
Now I'm gonna this one. When I turn into like Elmer Fudd, that's when you know I'm really struggling with it. I'm gonna drop it. Not for lack of trying though. I think there's not a ton of options out there this year. The free agency class is T. Higgins, and we're not even sure he's going to be available because Joe Burrow keeps telling anyone that listens that he wants to keep T. Higgins around. They have to pay Jamar Chase as well. I don't know where they get the money, but I don't know. Joe Burrow seems powerful. Chris Godwin is an option there, but he's coming off an injury. I'm just not sure if that ends up working out where they're willing to pay the money that Godwin, his stats would say he deserves.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, coming off the injury, he knows Canales.
If he's willing to take a discount. I just don't. Those are really the only two premier, Amari Cooper, who hasn't been good.
Stephon Diggs.
Diggs coming off an injury, older guy in his 30s. I don't see, I think they're going to kick the tires on all of them. They'll talk to all of them. I'm not sure if they're the one that's going to come up with the biggest dollar amount for him. I think there are contenders out there that'll probably pay more.
Some of the top ones mentioned Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, DeAndre Hopkins.
A lot of age. A lot of age for a team that I think needs to get younger.
The youngest of that group I mentioned is T. Higgins. He's about to be 26. And then right after that, it's Chris Godwin at 28, 29.
If you can get T. Higgins, I'm in. I do think that price tag is going to be low.
I just don't think they can afford it.
I think that price tag is going to... And the teams like the Patriots out there also need number one wide receivers and have just boatloads of cap space.
Yep.
It's tough to compete with that. I think they'll explore trades. I think they'll talk to everybody about everything for a number one wide receiver and consider one with the 8th pick if one is there that they like. But I just don't see him making the giant splash money signing free agent.
All right, cop or drop. Let's go to college basketball here, Tim. Duke in action tonight, taking on Pitt. Cop or drop. Duke will have a 1 seed in their region in the NCAA tournament. Cop or drop.
I'm copping it.
Okay.
And part of this is me sticking to my guns, right? I predicted them to win the national championship if I had to pick a team at the beginning of the year. Advanced Analytics love them. I think they'll... The funny part is we also said this. Because they're so young and so new, they only had 2 returning players. So it's almost like they're not returning, right? Because everyone is new to them as well. I said they're going to be much better at the end of the year than the beginning of the year. They're pretty good at the beginning of the year. So yes, I'm going to put them in as one of the 1 seeds, which is great for the ACC. And I think it's really good for John Shire. And you need to start checking those things off your bucket list.
Cop or drop, UNC misses the NCAA tournament.
I mean, you had to put these back to back just so the people that accuse me of being biased and everything are going to... Yeah, I think they missed. So I'm copping. Is that how you worded that?
Yeah.
I'm copping. I mean, it's just... And it's not all their fault. It's not all their... The fact of how they've played up to this point, that's their fault. Let's not absolve them of blame. But there's just not as many opportunities for those giant resume-building wins in the ACC this year. In years past, if you were lackluster up until mid-January, all right, well, now you only have 10 top 25 wins left on the schedule that you can go chase. Now it's like, well, if you don't beat Duke twice, you're in trouble. They obviously can win the ACC tournament, but if you're picking one team or the field in the ACC tournament, it's almost always better to take the field. So yeah, I think they're... I mean, it's an uphill battle. It's not impossible, but if you're making me choose, I'm going to say they missed.
All right, cop or drop. The ACC will have 4 teams make the NCAA tournament in men's basketball. Cop or drop?
Exactly 4 or at least 4?
At least 4.
I think they get 4.
Okay.
So I'm copping.
Okay.
I don't know why I had to do that big dramatic exactly 4 because I think exactly 4.
Duke for sure.
Duke, Pitt, Clemson right now, they have to play well enough to be sure things. Like the ACC depends on it. And then I think there'll be one surprise. I think there's...
Is it Wake sneak their way in?
Could be Wake. Could be a surprise ACC champion in the tournament. They didn't impress me in their last game out. Could be like, an NC State from last year, right? Could be... There's a few teams that could go on that run. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe my brain can't comprehend a 3-bid ACC team. So yes, 4 or more is where I'm leaning.
Cop or drop? Switching over to hockey here.
All right.
Cop or drop? The Carolina Hurricanes will make a trade for a top 6 forward by the trade deadline. Cop or drop?
Dropping. And this is prediction rather than like what I would do. I've said this a bunch. The Canes are inherently more patient than I am, just as like if the Canes were a human and I obviously am a human, as people, they are inherently more patient than I am. I would make more moves at the deadline. I would do more They are much more like, let's wait and see. Let's trust what we did. Let's trust our offseason decisions. Let's wait and see. And I think that was emphasized or reinforced is the word. I think that was reinforced by, ironically, because they're playing him tonight, the Jake Gensel saga from a season ago. At the deadline, they went and made the move. They went and got the wing. They went and got the top 6 forward at the deadline. They gave up the prospects that they needed to. And then they didn't advance any further in the postseason than they've been able to advance in the past. And they kind of got pushed and pulled and messed around by Gensel as free agency opened up. I don't think that was a positive or fun experience for many involved. So I think there's an element of, that's why we don't do that. That's why we don't make the all-in move, because you can leave us flapping in the breeze here, which will just discourage them from doing it this year. Not to say I don't think it's the right move. I still, when the trade deadline comes around, maybe on this show going, they need to make the move. I just don't think at this point I see them doing it, partially because of how last season went.
All right. Carolina Hurricanes have played 40, or tonight will be game number 41 on the season for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, wow.
So we are literally going to hit the midpoint of the season after tonight's game. Pyotr Kochetkov is going to start tonight. It'll be his 26th start this season. Cop or drop, Pyotr Kochetkov will start 50 this season for Carolina. Cop or drop.
I'm copping.
I anticipate Frederick Anderson is going to be coming back at some point.
I was just going to say, I've lost my Freddie tracker. It was what, 8 to 12 weeks? I forget how many weeks ago.
Somewhere around 4-8 weeks ago.
And yeah, I need like a clock in the corner that just tells me how long Freddie's been out and how long it is till 8 to 12 weeks. And he was out a month before we got that expectation. Until Freddie is back, Pyotr plays as often as comfortable, right? As often as Rod Brindamore thinks he can be out there, he's out there. Dustin Tokarski does his absolute best in the games where Pyotr can't. So Pyotr's going to continue to rack up the starts at least until Freddie comes back. And then once Freddie comes back, I think the most Freddie plays is 50% of the time. Like we saw last year when he came back from the blood clots, where it was 1 game on, 1 game off for each goalie. They just alternated, which still gives you a chance to rack up a decent amount of starts depending on how early Freddie gets back. I like the 50-50 split in that scenario, in part because Freddie's going to have to play his way back into game shape, and Pyotr Kochetkov is probably going to be looking a little exhausted if he continues to play the workload that he's been playing. So, yeah, I think... So he has 26 starts with the 40.
Tonight will be 26.
Tonight will be 26. Yeah, I think he gets at least as many as he's had thus far.
Okay.
And he could have 2 less.
That's true.
Still hit the number. So.
Little room for error there. All right, final one here. Cop or drop. One of Andrei Svechnikov, Martin Necas, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. One of those guys will score a goal tonight. Cop or drop.
Can you first of all, before I give my answer, can you quickly give the numbers on how much of an eclipse those have become?
In the last 13 games, they have combined for 4 goals, 9 assists in the last 13 games. Andrei Svechnikov has one of those goals. It was a power play goal. Martin Necas has one of those goals. It was an empty net goal. And Kotkaniemi has the other 2.
Yeah, I think they do.
One of them gets a goal tonight?
Yeah, so I'm copping it. Well, first of all, part of me is
make it happen.
Part of them, they're due, right? They're due.
And they're due.
Part of it is they're due, right? It's a 300 hitter who's gone on a 7-game hitless streak. You're gonna go 4 for 4. You don't break out of the slump with a 1 for 5. You break out of the slump something serious. They're due. The other part is, and this will be my tease for my first goal scorer prediction, which, by the way, everybody, kind of 2-minute warning here on having your first goal scorer predictions ready. I think one of those 3 should potentially take some of the Jake Gensel situation from last year a little personally. And in a game where you're playing against Jake Gensel, I think it's a good time to express that, and I took it personally, that like Michael Jordan with the iPad, I took it personally. I think that's part of it. So that's a little Easter egg, a little hint on who
Jake Gensel is just a jackwagon.
You remember what color that was? That's just the delivery of it. It's all perfect. We're gonna come back to Jake Gensel, so I'm gonna say we only have like 45 seconds here before we open up the phone lines for Kane's first goal scorer prediction. That's not enough time for me to lean into the Jake Gensel storyline enough, so I'm gonna withhold. But that's a tease for later on in the show. Just know it's coming. For those of you new here that aren't listening every time there's a Canes game on a weekday when we have a show, we do something called First Goal Scorer Predictions, where you have to call in. We take 3 official contestants. All you have to do is call in with 2 pieces of information. Who will score the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes, and in what period will that goal be scored? If you are one of the 3 official contestants that get to make your prediction on air, you get a pretty sweet prize from Apex Racing Lab if you get it right. As the clock switches over to 4:33, we open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in now with your first goal scorer predictions. The pretty sweet prize I talked about, it's the ultimate sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Carriers-McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. That's apexracinglab.com. You get a gift card if you are the winner. And the only way you win is to call in and tell me who your first goal scorer prediction is and in what period it will be scored. We do this every single Canes game when we have a show. So as long as there's a game on the day we have a show, or we have a show on the day there is a game, probably a better way to say that, we open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline for this game, and the lines are filling up. Dennis is grabbing some info. Again, apexracinglab.com is the place to check it out for the sim racing experience. Are we ready to go? We are ready to go. The lines are full. We have Jim in Hillsboro on the line. He is our first contestant. Jim, welcome to the show. Go ahead and make your first goal scorer prediction.
Well, Happy New Year's, Tim. I am going to go with Mr. Orloff with a slap shot, 90 miles an hour. See if he can get up there again like he did the other night, and put one in the basket there.
You're going, we still need a period prediction.
First period.
First period.
Definitely.
The advanced analytics did love that slap shot from Orlov the other day. Went kind of viral. So appreciate the prediction. You have Orlov,
yes, sir.
Slap shot, 90-plus miles an hour in the first period, locked and loaded for Jim in Hillsboro. All he needs to get right in order to get the prize is Orlov in the first. But we always ask for a few more details for bragging rights. Tim and Zeppelin. Tim, you are up. Who's the first goal scorer and in what period?
Going for Svech in the first. It'll be late first.
Late first. You just think he's due, or why are you confident after he's in this drought?
He's due. It's been forever and a day, it seems like, other than the overtime goal. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think he's due and ready to see him spark it and get going.
All right, Tim. Fantastic name and also good guess.
I gotta love the name.
There you go. Lastly here, last official contestant, we have Mickey in Youngsville. Mickey, who scores the first goal and in what period?
I got Aho in the first.
Aho in the first. That is probably our most popular pick. Do you want to add any more details? What kind of goal? How does it happen? Just for bragging rights.
Power play within the first 10 minutes.
All right. We'll lock you in, and we will let you know if you're a winner, all right? Cool. As always, Dennis and I will also give you our predictions. But if you didn't get through and you wanted to, if you have a prediction and you didn't get a chance to call in, for bragging rights and glory, just the knowledge of you being somebody that understands this team and gets it, you can always leave your predictions in our YouTube comments, 99.9 The Fan live stream on YouTube. You can send it to me on Twitter, at Donnelly Sports. Just communicate it to us anywhere where there's a timestamp attached to your comment, so we know that you made the prediction before the game. And if it happens and you get it right, we'll give you your due. We'll give you your braggadocious. We'll let you. We'll give you your flowers, if you will, for getting it right.
Brandon, on our YouTube live chat, first goal prediction for tonight: Sean Walker in the first from the high slot.
I do like the kind of outside the box thinkers that come with maybe not the most traditional goal scorers. Sean Walker amongst them. Dennis, give us yours. I know Sean Walker's your guy.
I know he is.
But you're not going to double up, I assume.
No.
So who are you looking at?
I won't do that today. A guy who was denied a goal even though he scored on Saturday.
One of my
and
guys.
he scored on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Give me Jalen Chatfield in the first.
I love it. I should have seen that. I should have done that, but I didn't think that way. Hockey gods, always kicking it back when they lose a goal.
Matt in our YouTube live chat just said Seth Jarvis in the first off a rebound from the slot.
I like it. Obviously, I said when you break a slump, you break it in a big way. He was on, a 5-6 game goal scoreless streak. Then he had a pair of them, so floodgates are open. My first goal scorer, speaking of somebody that is due, Martin Necas. First period. Here's why. All you wanted Gensel, you wanted him signed. While everyone was talking about trading me, you were talking about signing him. This guy, this one for the Lightning, watch what I do. That's the energy I want from Martin Necas. Didn't you see the way I started the season? That's the energy I want from Martin Necas. I want him to go all out. I want him to be bitter. I want him to take it personal, and I want him to score a goal right out the gate. I want him to take 4 shots on goal in the first period and be aggressive. As I say, avocado selfishness, right? A lot of fat is bad, but the fat you have in avocados, that's good. A lot of selfishness is bad, but the selfishness when a player needs it to be the type of scorer their team needs, that's avocado selfishness. I want that from Martin Necas.
You'll like what Jeff from Apex just called and said. He actually said Martin Necas
all right,
as the third period game winner.
Oh.
That was his prediction, but Jordan Stahl in the first period. But he said Martin Necas.
That works.
And he actually mentioned Jake Gensel in his call.
That works.
And he said Martin Necas gets the winner in the third period.
Make Gensel watch. Let the boy watch. For those of you that have seen the best bloopers of all time, it's from Will Ferrell on his Eastbound and Down appearance. If you haven't seen it, it's YouTube. It's like 12 minutes long, but it is hilarious.
Wonderful.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, you can continue to comment your first goal scorers on our YouTube page. You can send them to me on Twitter at Donnelly Sports. Just make sure that it is time-stamped before the game so we don't have you watch the first goal scorer, then go predict the first goal.
By the way, real quick, Canes again in action tonight. Storm watch without a goal at 6:30 right after overdrive here in the Fan. Hockey night in Raleigh, folks, or in Carolina.
Hockey
they're on
night,
the road.
Yeah, they're in Tampa, but you can listen to it right here on 99.9 The Fan. I wish it were home. When Tampa comes to town, it's good atmosphere. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We hear from some of you in that YouTube comments that I was talking about. In those YouTube comments that I was talking about, we go to a feedback frenzy. Hear your thoughts on recent conversations here on the show next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I don't understand why people can't wrap their minds around that the college football universe is going to be vastly different than it's ever been. We might not recognize it based on what happened last year, let alone 5 years ago. What's to say that Bill Belichick won't be the first of many NFL coaches to take over a college program?
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles heart meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan, and we're here at South Garner High School to to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month. And that Scholar Athlete is Samayan Jones.
It means a lot to me because my parents, they want me to do well and make it in life. So this is for them. I try to work hard in the classroom and on the court for them and do my best.
He's never trying to bring no negative energy, and I feel like that's what makes him a more productive teammate.
My teammates, they encourage me a lot because, I've been through injuries. They cheer me on because 2 games ago was my first time getting back on the court. So they cheer me on, encourage me every day. That's why I keep doing what I do.
He was always there in practice, just cheering us up and just carrying us on for practice, even though he wasn't playing. So that just shows what type of guy he is.
And then I have him in my class, so he's a great student as well. Just last week, one of his real good friends, he's like, Junior's just a good vibe, man. And that's what he is.
Congratulations, Samayan.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Off the play fake, Herbert to throw. Herbert looking to the near sideline. Herbert's under pressure. He breaks away from Clowney, throws on the run, intercepted! J.C. Horn at the 40-yard line.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time to hear from you. Something we call a feedback frenzy. I said this not long ago, but one of my kind of New Year's resolutions was to make sure we involve and interact with the listeners more, and one of the ways we do that is a feedback frenzy, where Dennis goes through all of the comments on our YouTube and social medias and everything else. He brings the ones that he likes the most, that most pique his fancy, and we react here live on air. Dennis, what do you got?
All right, a lot of conversations recently about UNC basketball.
Yep.
This one comes from AB1211 on YouTube. As an alum, I'm so disappointed. I'm trying to stay positive for the sake of Ian and Seth, but Hubert Davis needs to go.
The first of all, I don't love calling for people's jobs. I say that probably too often. But I will say this: you know what you're getting into when you take over a program like UNC, right? You know, hey, this isn't a program where I can have some down years and everybody's going to be cool with it. Like if you have down years, if you're not making the tournament, even a few times every 10 years. If you're missing the NCAA tournament 2 or 3 times a decade, fans are not going to be happy with that. Like there are programs where if you make the NCAA tournament 5 times a decade, you're like celebrated. UNC is not that. So Hubert Davis knew what he was getting into. The guy's as familiar with UNC as anybody is. Player, assistant, now head coach, media member, covered him, did all of it. So I think he's not surprised by fans having that kind of statement. I also would say it's not like more than Seth and Ian are having decent years. There's silver linings across that team. Some of them are just, I think, playing out of role a little bit.
All right, off that same mindset, K. Ream 180 said, talking about Hubert Davis, Hubert is literally relying on Ian Jackson and R.J. Davis to go one-on-one against teams and go get buckets. That's all. No game plan, no chemistry, no defense, no intensity, no passion. It's actually some of the ugliest basketball I've seen. This is UNC, and we look so mid. Our front court don't even look like D1 athletes. Small front court with a small back court who can't shoot or play defense at all.
Yowzers.
Had to censor that one.
No, that I mean, obviously, and heck, that's what the internet's for, right? That was good venting. You got some things off your chest, needed to say it. I hope you feel better, right? Like, whew, all right, now we get back to work. That's funny. Here's I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, actually it's been good basketball that you've been watching. There's been parts that have been tough to watch. It has not been great basketball. There is a part of the results are I think, forming your opinion. Meaning, last year there was a lot of ISO ball, but you were winning more, so you're probably okay with it, right? I hate the NBA ISO style. Yeah, until I don't know, Dame Lillard scores 60 in all ISOs, and you're like, that was pretty fun to watch. It's a lot of times the results kind of form how you feel about it. I'm not going to deny you brought up the small front court. I don't want to exactly quote what they were saying. Small front court, small back court. If there is a big miss that UNC made, they underestimated, and it's kind of crazy, right? Because basketball, every time you see someone tall, do you play basketball? They underestimated how their lack of size was going to hold them back. They thought they were going to have other skills that could overcome their lack of size, and they haven't found that skill set yet. So if there is a big flaw, got to learn your lesson and not let that happen again, I don't think UNC is going to be an undersized team for the next 10 years because they're going to be having flashbacks to the 2024-2025 season when they had a hard time overcoming it.
Okay, let's switch gears real fast to the Carolina Hurricanes. We had a lot of people actually flood in with some first goal scorer predictions real fast. Gregory said Aho in the first period.
Okay.
This one comes from Subnoise. Natchez in the first. Show us why we kept you when that other guy left for Tampa.
I agree.
Talking about that other guy.
I completely agree. This should be a game. And actually, you know what? Even Jarvis might take it personal, right? Because they paid him this offseason. They kept Natchez, and then everyone wanted to pay Gensel. There are some players that should come into this game trying to prove something, even though they're proven in a lot of ways. I think it's a game you take personally.
Also, John said Jackson Blake's second period rebound putback.
I would love it.
And Jack said Jack Roslovic in the second period.
Any of the Jacks I'm in favor of.
Okay, pause. All right, let's go on to now Carolina Panthers. So those are our first goal scorer predictions. Let's go to Carolina Panthers. This one comes from Bryce Rock.
Bryce Rock or Bryce Rott?
Rock, like R-U-C-H.
Okay.
I think it's just spelled or maybe
okay.
Rosh.
Like Rochelle.
Maybe.
Rochester.
Let's make a deal with T. Higgins, bring in some talent of defense, get an edge like Abdul Carter or Jalen Walker. Derek Brown's going to be healthy next year, and hopefully old man Thielen wants to come back too. I really think we're not that far from taking the NFC South. A lot of work to do to catch the NFC powerhouses, but man, this team is getting fun to watch again. Bryce has that clutch gene. Man, if we can hold a lead, 2025 is going to be great.
All right, there's a lot to respond to there.
Yeah.
He's under contract. I'm in favor of bringing back Adam Thielen.
Sure.
I am leery of depending on him too much. He is the oldest wide receiver in the NFL by 2 years this year. So he's not getting younger. Obviously, the injuries, the soft tissue things happen. That happens as you get older. What did he say to get Abdul Carter and T. Higgins?
Yeah, sign T. Higgins, maybe draft Abdul Carter or Jalen Walker.
I like the structure of the offseason being you use the first-round pick, number 8 overall, on a premier playmaker for either the offense or the defense, and you make the big free agency spend on the opposite. So you either get a premier playmaker in the draft for the offense and a big spend free agent on defense, or vice versa, you spend on like an edge rusher, someone like Abdul Carter, and then you spend a bunch of money for a wide receiver, which could be T. Higgins. I did look it up. Spotrac is a website, spotrac.com. They track all of the cap and dead money and contract value and everything else. For T. Higgins, they suggest the calculated market value, of which I'm sure they have a very complicated algorithm, is 5 years, $104.6 million. I think that's light. I think what we've seen from the wide receiver market as of late is he'll probably be a $24, $25 million a year player. You're getting up there. You're getting up there. I like Abdul Carter. I don't know if he's going to be there at the 8th pick. So you're going to have to read and react. You're going to have to look at the market and free agency and decide which direction you want to go. And then you're going to have to pay attention to the draft. 8th is far enough that it's really hard to predict the top 7. Trades can happen, right? You can have your 8 names in order and just let it rock, but you're going to have to be a little bit of a quarterback. Drop back and react to the defense and then make your decision. Don't decide pre-snap and lock in on your number 1 wide receiver. The market is changing, the draft is changing, and you're going to have to adjust.
Okay. Well, speaking of quarterbacks, this one comes from Ramses Batista. Can Bryce Young lead us into the playoffs within the next 2 years?
Yes. And that's not just a Bryce Young question. That is also an NFC South question. The Saints do not look terribly difficult to beat. The Falcons, how'd that defense look on Sunday?
It didn't.
And the Bucs are good. Don't get me wrong. Mike Evans, right? All the records he's breaking are because he's been in the league for over a decade. They've got some age there. Levante David, right? They've got some age there that is going to be looking to be replaced soon. So I think the NFC South is gettable. If Bryce plays as well as he did in the second half of this year over a full season, I think the NFC South is gettable. What you do beyond that, I don't know if Bryce has proven he can. Like, making the playoffs is one thing. Staring down a legit playoff quarterback on the other side in a duel and winning the game, I don't know if we've seen that yet from Bryce Young. But yeah, you can for sure make the playoffs with him.
All right, final one here. This one's regarding NC State football. We talked about how they had a lot of guys go to the transfer portal just recently, basically their entire secondary or starting secondary on defense. This one comes from Chuck Lander. As a State fan, I'm surprised more players have not left the football program because Dave Doeren has not won an ACC championship in 12 years.
Well, there's something that I've been pointing out about the new college sports world. Coaches are responsible for making the players see value in their program. It used to be coaches were responsible for getting you to commit, sign a letter of intent, and then beyond that, you couldn't leave unless you wanted to sit out a year. Now, if you're the backup, the only way you stay around is if you see value in the program outside of playing time. Right? If you're coming back and backing up a starter from last year, you better be being developed at practice, enjoying the people you're around, seeing value of your life added, or else you'd leave. If Dave Doeren has guys sticking around despite not winning, if Dave Doeren has guys sticking around when it seems like logic would say go elsewhere, he's doing something to the experience on campus as a football player for NC State that is making it seem worth their while. It's the first time in college sports where you've had to make it worth their while to come back. It used to just be you could trick them into signing and then, gotcha, 4 years. Or at least until you graduate, and then you can leave as a grad transfer. But it's a different beast. So I guess, your why in the world would they stay is actually a compliment to Dave Doeren, saying, like, why in the world would they stay? Well, it's because they want to. And not because they're winning. Take away the winning if players still want to stay. It's kind of a compliment to the culture you have, I guess. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's a real backhanded compliment there.
Yeah, a little bit.
We'll power through. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis has something for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, don't go through another year with all that high-interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free rate quote now with no hard credit pull. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The starting five is coming up next, including the NFL coaching carousel spins and spins and spins. Latest news and more coming up.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Natchez heads up. Back to Orlov. He scores! A 1-2 punch from Dmitry Orlov. It's 3-2 on Orlov, second of the game.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Back to Slavin. He shot right on. Rebounds out in front. Chance out front. They score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
The new year is here. Time for change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI with My Computer Career in just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
A few contest rules from sports radio stations The Fan, The Buzz. No purchase necessary. 21 to enter and play. Limited to 1 entry per person and 1 prize winner per family or household per contest every 30 days. Employees of Capital Broadcasting, its agencies, sponsors, subsidiaries, other broadcast companies, and immediate families of the above are ineligible to play. Winners are verified, complete documentation, and are responsible for all taxes and prizes received. All prizes are non-transferable and cannot be redeemed for cash. Winners give sports radio the right to publicize his or her name, likeness, or voice. Sports may change contest rules and prizes at any time and holds no liability for canceled or postponed events. Complete info of sports radio contests available at WRALSportsFan.com or during normal business hours at 3100 Highwoods Boulevard in Raleigh.
New year, new career. Discover a new role with the Wake County Public School System. We're hiring bus drivers and special education instructional assistants. When you join us, you'll enjoy an inspiring and rewarding role, providing safe school travel and personalized educational support to amazing students. We have new starting wages, competitive benefits, many ways to grow, and more. Lend your crucial skills to the next generation at Wake County Public School System. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net.
It's 2025, and it's time to get your home zero-resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms zero-resified starting at just $109 and take $100 off your air duct cleaning as well. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. And see why? It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Available in app only. T&Cs apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. It's a cold day out there today, but at least the sun is shining. It's going to be a very cold night tonight. We'll have clear skies tonight and drop down to 21. Heading into Wednesday afternoon, it's another sunny day, but it's another cold day with a high of 42.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 178 points to 42,528. Market update brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Get outside, try something new, and get a fresh perspective in the new year at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. More than just a place to shoot. DeepRiverSportingClays.com. Again, DeepRiverSportingClays.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is actually a little tease into our number 5 here in the starting 5. But tonight, right here, 99.9 The Fan, you can watch, or I should say listen to, the Carolina Hurricanes against the Tampa Bay Lightning. 6:30, Adam Gold with Storm Watch as he'll get you ready for puck drop. Mike Maniscalco, Trip Tracy, and the crew will take it from there after Storm Watch. As I said, that's a hint on what we have for number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Across the ring, Orlov shot, save made, rebound, game over! Sebastian Aho fills the lane, and his 600th career point gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
Canes at Tampa tonight. I'm glad that so many of you in the by the way, we did our first goal scorer predictions earlier, and many of you that weren't able to call in and be official contestants still let us know your first goal scorer predictions in our YouTube comments. And I'm happy that so many of you had similar motivations, which is picking somebody like Natchez or picking somebody like Jarvis or picking anybody who might be able to work their head around the Jake Gensel debacle as a personal slight.
Jake Gensel is just a jackwagon.
Yes, exactly. Somebody that can use that debacle and take it personally and use that as extra motivation every time you play the Tampa Bay Lightning. What, he signed an 8-year deal? 7-year deal for the. Yeah, you're right. Because, never mind. For the next 7 years, every time you play the Lightning, use it as individual, I took it personal fuel. Oh, everybody, the fans wanted Gensel, and they were talking about trading me, says Martin Natchez. Well, watch what I do. Oh, the offseason that I got my money, he wanted more money than me, says Seth Jarvis. Well, watch what I do. That's what I'm looking for. And you may say, like, oh, personal little rivalries, personal, it's pointless. I agree, but it's whatever it takes to get you up for game number 41 out of 82. In baseball, they call it the dog days of summer. I guess this would be like the dog days of winter. What day of the week is it? I don't know. We had a game yesterday. We got one tomorrow. We got a game in a couple days. Where are we? What city are we in? What time zone are we in? I don't know. When every game starts to blur together, you look for any reason to turn one into a special game. Canes tonight in Tampa. Dennis, we do this often. I put you on the spot.
Yep.
Scale of 1 to 10, how big of a game is it?
I'm going to give this one a 8.
8, which is, I think, the second highest we've gone with. That feels accurate.
I mean, Tampa's fighting for a playoff spot. They're trying to move up in their own divisional rankings. They need this win just as much as Carolina needs it.
And go into it with that expectation, right? Go into it knowing you get up by 2, they're not going to go, oh, darn. Well, we'll get them next time. You get up by 2, they're going to go, let's throw the kitchen sink at them and see if we can't make this into a game. Pyotr Kochetkov, by the way, first off the ice during morning skate. He'll be expected in goal. No surprise there. Still dealing with some injuries, but it's the NHL and you're 41 games in. That's kind of what par for the course is. You just hope you don't get hit in places that you can't sustain it. All right.
I thought we were talking like specific body parts.
Oh. No, but I have been dangerously close to some euphemisms completely unintentionally today.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and jump to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. All together.
Here's the snap. Pocket holds. Andy throwing downfield. Thielen! Did he hang on? Touchdown!
So much for going for the field goal, right?
Oh, I see what's going on there. Dennis hits these highlights coming out of the starting 5, which are supposed to lead into our topic. And that was just an Adam Thielen highlight to me. And I was like, what is going on there? Oh, no. It was an Adam Thielen highlight, but not just an Adam Thielen highlight. It was against the Raiders. And our topic is the NFL coaching carousel, which, yeah, if you haven't been paying attention today, there's your hint. Panthers fired Antonio Pierce, according to Adam Schefter.
Being the Raiders.
Got to say Panthers?
Yeah.
Well, the Panthers got a lot of guys fired.
They did, actually.
Panthers got a lot of guys fired, like the week after they played him. The Raiders fired Antonio Pierce. A short stay as the head coach of the Raiders for Antonio Pierce. I think this has as much to do with Tom Brady as it does anybody else. Tom Brady is a partial owner of the Raiders now, as of just a couple months ago. I think the Raiders are now using this offseason, trying to reset as much as possible and let Tom Brady put his fingerprints all over the future of the Panthers. That means picking the coach, picking the quarterback, picking the vibe. He's probably picking the music in the locker room. They want this to be the franchise that Tom Brady designed. That's at least the vibes I'm getting from it. So, Antonio Pierce, if you want someone to blame, Tom Brady, I guess. I don't know. He probably tormented your entire playing career, so.
Wasn't Antonio Pierce on the Giants when they won a Super Bowl against them, though?
Yes, that's true.
Maybe. Now we know the motive.
So you had no shot. Once Brady
exactly, you had no shot. Now
this
we
was
understand.
The long game. That's funny.
Exactly. That's Tom Brady getting revenge.
Brady holds a grudge. He still names like the 6 quarterbacks drafted above him a billion years ago. You're darn right he knows everyone on those Giants rosters.
Pierce paid for the Giants from 05 through 09. Won a Super Bowl.
That is
funny. That now we know. We have figured it out.
Now Brady's going to sell his stake. He's done what he's tried to do. Now he's, all right, never mind. Here you go, Mark Davis. You can have it back.
That's like the ultimate revenge move.
That is. That's funny.
Hey, you beat me. I fired you.
Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? I'm the boss. Can't fire me. The part about the NFL coaching carousel that I find interesting, we talk about how the Panthers have done a good job, and we're going to play some Dan Morgan sound bites here later on in the starting 5. But they've done a good job finding a GM and a coach that fit, right? Dave Canales, Dan Morgan, they worked together in Seattle. They seem to like each other. They seem to back each other up publicly. It's a nice GM head coach fit. If you look at the head coach openings as they stand right now, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Jags, the Bears, and the Saints have all fired their coach but are keeping the GM. I don't love that. I like to hire as a pair. I like to bring in Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch at once and give them matching length contracts so they are aware fully that they are dependent on each other for their own success. I like Dan Morgan and Dave Canales being close. I like that kind of structure in your front office. The Jets are the only one, I believe, looking that have both a head coach and a GM opening at the same time. So against all odds, they're the one kind of doing it the way that I would, which probably I should question my own beliefs if I'm like, yeah, you got to do it the way the Jets are. The Titans, by the way, fired their GM, but they're keeping their coach and Brian Callahan, at least for the moment. So they're reversing it as opposed to what those teams I mentioned are. That's number 4. Let's jump to number 3.
Rolling to his right. He can run for it. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. Bryce into the end zone. And Carolina takes the lead. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns today for Bryce Young.
Dan Morgan spoke to the media yesterday, the GM of the Carolina Panthers, who I just referenced. I'm not going to say it was a victory lap, but I am going to say if timing is everything, he's really, really glad he didn't have to do his exit interview media after like week 6. He got to wait until after week 18 because the team is just in a better place. The development of Bryce Young is really exciting, and he gets to say things like he's excited about the direction of the team.
I do feel like, we're making a lot of progress. Things are trending in a really good direction. I feel like the culture's changing here. Guys are starting to feel what it's like to win. We only have 5 wins, but, it feels like the momentum's kind of building. I think guys are feeling good about the direction that the team's going.
Timing is everything. Excited about the direction the team is going right after you benched the number 1 overall pick from 18 months prior would not have sounded as believable as it did right there. The other thing that Dan Morgan, and I give him some respect for this, because he didn't fully take the victory lap. And I think maybe he should have. He did a pretty good job with the rookie class. Xavier Legette, the one they traded up into the first round, is, I would say, kind of the least impressive of the bunch. But then you throw in that he got an undrafted free agent kind of off the draft or the clearance bin wide receiver in Jalen Coker, and it's like, you did a pretty good job, right? Jonathan Brooks hurt, which is tough. Nothing you can do there.
Yep.
Injuries are what they are. You got to trust your trainers. But I like Trevin Wallace. I like Jatavian Sanders. I liked Shaw Smith-Wade. There's some good evaluating being done in that group.
Throw Damani Richardson in there as well, another undrafted rookie.
Had a big game to end the year. Mm-hmm. Dan Morgan also happy with the development of the rookies.
I feel like these guys got better and better. They continue to grow and work throughout the season. I think they had a solid rookie season. I think there's a lot of good things to build on. They're going to put the work in, and I know they're excited about that. I talked to all those guys today, along with the rest of the rosters.
Good for Dan Morgan. It's got no one cares about the league, but I'm in a dynasty fantasy league, and when I tell you the draft choices that like if you get it wrong or if you think a player is awesome and it doesn't work out, it just sticks with you. It has to be times, and this is not like a million for somebody that runs an NFL team. So to get it right has to put you on cloud 9 times a million as well. Because when I get like a 3rd-round pick right, boy, you can't tell me nothing. Damani Richardson coming through, like you got to stand up on that one. The urge to just talk trash has to be crazy. The other thing that he talks about is stability. And this is another thing that I think the Panthers could take a little bit of a victory lap on. The stability in that franchise has been non-existent for a while. Coaches coming in and out, coordinators coming in and out, front office executives coming in and out. Just the revolving door at the facility. This offseason, even the defense that was historically bad, the defensive coordinator's coming back. They are overcorrecting towards stability, and Dan Morgan thinks that's an attractive part of the new structure.
Players don't want to come to a team where they, first of all, don't feel like there's stability, which I feel like there is here now. We have a young head coach that brings a lot of energy. He's fun to play for. And then, obviously, Bryce, the way he's developing and growing under Coach Canales and his staff definitely helps in the free agent process and makes things exciting moving forward.
Perfect example of that. Now, I don't know if this is when the tampering, when you cross that line, I don't know what it is. Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver who there are rumors that he may not be in the most stable of relationships with the team that he is currently employed by, the New York Jets. Some rumors about some people close to him maybe thinking that a trade request could possibly, a lot of, allegedly, could possibly be in the future. He commented that on Twitter, right, because this is 2025 and we have to stay up on our social media of every player in the NFL. He commented that Bryce Young is better than we thought he was. Garrett Wilson hadn't really been on Twitter, at least not tweeting on X very often. I believe the last time he posted on that website was on Christmas. It is now January 7th, and he came out of hibernation to say Bryce Young is awesome. Dan Morgan saying head coach, quarterback, you start getting those things, people want to start coming to play for you. It's a little different vibe. I don't know if many free agents were busting down the Panthers' door this past offseason. Maybe it could happen a little bit more this offseason. That all is number 3 in the starting 5. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us. Miller will drive, lob it behind his head, deflected, stolen by Foster. A chance to run, flag for Gillis. Here we go. Oh! A right-hand punch.
Duke versus Pitt tonight. Men's basketball. I don't know if at the beginning of the year we circled January 7th as a big game for the ACC hierarchy, yet here we are. Both Pitt and Duke 12-2. Duke's 2 losses coming to the number 6 team in the country, number 22 team in the country as they stand right now. Pitt's losses come to the number 14 team in the country and an also receiving votes team who at the time, Wisconsin, was 19th when they beat Pitt. So the 4 losses all against, they're all quad 1 losses. I don't know if that matters. But these are 2, you could argue, Clemson and Pitt may be interchangeable, but I think I'd lean Pitt. The 2 best teams in the ACC thus far, based on how they've played this season. That's an opportunity here, right? That's an opportunity. Duke, this is, again, from a results standpoint, one of the games where they have the opportunity to show the committee. One of the copper drops from earlier today was, will they be a 1 seed? if you need the committee to choose you over another team with a similar resume, they're going to look towards games against the good teams that you played. And there's not going to be a lot of them left here in the ACC. So against Pitt is an opportunity for you to make a little bit of a statement. Also, they're favored by 14.5. That's where the ACC is right now. I can go on long soliloquies about how Pitt could be the second best team in the Atlantic Coast Conference and then end it with, and Duke is favored by 14.5. Pitt has 2 scorers. Leggett. Every time I see his name, I want to say it like Xavier Leggett's last name now. It's Leggett and Lowe, and they both average about 17.5 points. So Duke's very, very talented defense. Their challenge is going to be those 2 guys, right? They're the straws that stirred the drink for Pitt, and Pitt's kind of secret sauce is they have 2 straws. They are not dependent on one main scorer. So Jeff Capel kind of lets the hot hand take over, and if you focus too much on one, the other guy's there to take advantage of it. Duke's defense analytically is one of the best in the country. So there's their challenge for tonight. If they win this one, it puts them in the obvious driver's seat in the ACC. You might say they're already there, but from like a win-loss perspective, they're not because it's just too early, right? And they're 3-0 in conference, and I think Pitt is 3-0 or 2-0 in conference. So eventually you're going to have to win a bunch of games just to put distance between you and the other teams.
That game is going to be over on Buzz Sports Radio, by the way.
John Shire expected back. He was not at their game at SMU over the weekend because of an illness. He's expected back tonight for Duke at home against Pitt. That's number 2. Let's jump to number 1.
The 1!
Game clock down to 6. Cadeau fouled on the 3, and he makes it!
UNC versus SMU tonight. I don't think people realize. If you didn't watch the game, UNC Notre Dame, you don't realize how close that was to a loss. That was, people say snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. That's exactly what happened there. Tonight against SMU, there's 2 ways to look at this game. One is just win, baby. Go old school Al Davis with it, right? You need to win. You need to kind of cruise and dominate your way through the ACC in order to enter into any at-large conversations if it's possible for the NCAA tournament. The other way to look at it is every time you take the court is an opportunity to try some solutions for the things that have been challenging you, try to solve the problems for the things that have been holding you back. And I think it is not a small fact that Seth Trimble is expected back for this one. The stat I used earlier, and shout out to the reporter, I want to make sure I get it right, from Inside Carolina who tweeted it out. It was Cheryl McMillan. Every year since 1951, Carolina has had at least one player average 5.6 rebounds per game.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, and 5.6, not asking a lot. This year, their leading rebounder doesn't even have 5 rebounds per game. He is at 4.9. So it is the
it's Jalen Washington, right?
Jalen Washington with 4.9. That shows, again, the problem that's been holding them back. It's just another symptom of you don't have enough size, you don't have a true big man, you don't have guys who make their living, throwing elbows. Seth Trimble is one of the few guys on the perimeter that can be the bridge to help fix it, right? He is not afraid to go down there and rebound. He is second on the team in rebounds per game, and you've been missing him the last 3 games. So I think here would be my game plan if I were Hubert Davis. First of all, put on some sweet Air Jordans, player editions, right? You can only get as the head coach at UNC. Then I'm going to go to the team and I'm going to say this. Seth Trimble, while you were out, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm just going to talk to you honestly. While you were out, Ian Jackson has emerged as a legitimate perimeter scorer. He's averaged 25 points per game in the last game you played and the 3 games since. 100 points in 4 games. So we're gonna lean on him to score on the perimeter, and we're going to ask R.J. Davis to play off of that and get open, good looks, and knock him down. That frees you up to do something that we desperately need, which is be an excellent rebounder from the perimeter. You have a little bit more verticality than some of our other perimeter players. You can go in, time your jump. I want you trying to tip slam everything. I want you trying to be the energy that you were last year with the acknowledgement that you may not have as many shot attempts as you were having earlier in the year, right? There may be less of an opportunity for you to score 15+, but more of an opportunity for Ian Jackson and RJ to take the scoring off your plate and let you do the other things that we haven't been able to do due to our lack of size. I need you to crash the boards. I need you to get your hands in the passing lane and get transition offense with your defense. That's what I'm looking at Seth Trimble to do. And then you just have to hope that Seth Trimble is the type of player who can do that, right? Can do that. You hope that he doesn't go, no, I've waited my time. You give me my shots, which I don't think he will. We have no reason to think he will. He's always come across as a guy that gets it to us, but or at least to me. But that's my move tonight against SMU. That's my move. And then hopefully you win by whatever it takes, and you live to fight another day. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here with Miller Lending. Gordon Miller's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. What that means is he's pretty darn good at it, right? He's had a lot of time to perfect it, and he's passed it along to his sons and everybody else that works at Miller Lending out there in Cary. And what I mean by perfecting it is no third-party fees, zero means zero, no closing cost loans are really no closing cost loans. Rates, you might think, oh, they're too high. You may think they're only going up. You may think the only way to get a lower rate is to pay $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in closing costs and buy down that rate. Well, let me ask you this. What if you pay $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 to buy down a rate, and then 2 years from now rates come down? You think you would have made your money back? No. Especially if you're using no closing cost loans and you just refinance with no cash out of your pocket. So the way that you protect yourself against spending a whole bunch of money that you don't want to spend is with a no closing cost loan. Take no money out of your pocket. Get the rate locked in now. If rates come down, go ahead and refinance. If rates go up, you've locked in the rate already that we talked about, right? So go ahead and give them a call. They can explain more. They can give you the ins and outs, the hows, the whats, the whos. The number to call is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. When you give them a call or when you do correspond with them, just make sure they know you heard about it right here on The Drive on 99.9 The Fan. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. Almost missed something very important. We need some numbers game contestants. There you go. Slam on the brakes. We have a $25 gift card to Sammy's Tap and Grill off Avon Ferry Road in Raleigh. If you want to win the Sammy's Tap and Grill gift card, you got to win the numbers game. If you want to win the numbers game, you got to call in now. We need two contestants. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Is your heating and air system ready for winter? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area for more than 70 years. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
What's this?
We're expanding the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club.
That's a pretty big wrecking ball.
Well, with all these new scratch-offs, this place is going to be packed with new winners. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this wall down. This is where we're putting the polo field. Whoa, patience, Trixie.
This month's tickets are loaded with $150 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 3.31 to 4.55. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hey everybody, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Football fans, buckle up, because for the first time ever, we've got 5 straight days of playoff football in college and the pros. And FanDuel is celebrating with the great playoff payoff. That's a no-sweat same-game parlay every day for all 5 days. With the no-sweat SGP, combine your bets from the same game for a chance at even bigger winnings. And if it doesn't hit, you get bonus bets back. Not only do we get to watch 5 straight days of playoff football, it's 5 chances to win big. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul, P-A-U-L, and be part of this epic run. The great playoff payoff. It's only on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's 5 o'clock.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. I have a question here that we are going to ask our 2 contestants. Dennis is going to pick his favorite answer. This one could be tough, but we'll see. I have faith in our contestants. We have Micah in Morrisville. We have Greg in Wake Forest on the line. We'll start with Micah in Morrisville. Micah, are you there and ready to answer a question?
Yeah.
All right.
Both.
The question is, we're in the middle of bowl season, right? Every seemingly day, there's another weird bowl. If you sponsored a bowl, what would you call it? Right? We have like the Bahamas Bowl. We have the Rose Bowl. For a while, there's the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, the Idaho Potato Bowl. If you can name a bowl, anything, what would it be?
The Cookout Bowl for the fast food restaurant. Have to.
Trying to get a little sponsorship money right out the gate. Mike is a businessman. All right, stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. Greg in Wake Forest, are you there?
I am.
All right, Greg, you sponsor a bowl game. What is it going to be called?
The Chocolate Bowl, and the head coach just gets busting one of those fountains of chocolate when he wins.
So you're going off the Mayo Bowl, and you're throwing chocolate into the mix. I was confident in our contestants having good answers, and they both lived up to it. Dennis, which answer are you choosing as your favorite?
I got to go local, Cookout, state of North Carolina-based company, so I'm going to go with Micah and Cookout on this one. Though the hot, I don't know, maybe it's like a Hershey's bowl game where it's like Hershey's Hot Fudge or something along those lines. I don't know. That would actually be kind of a fun one to see a coach doused with that. Don't wear your nice shoes. That's all I'm going to say. But the Cookout one, I think everyone just gets trays. Everyone gets Cookout trays. All the players, all the participants, everyone gets Cookout trays.
Some cool merch.
Hush puppies.
All right, so Micah and Morrisville
I
gets
think you
to go
should play it
first.
at like Durham County Stadium. That's where it should be played.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have maybe gone with like the Bahamas Bowl or something because then I get to go on a little trip.
That's fair.
Who doesn't like the Bahamas? I've never been. That means Micah and Morrisville gets to go first. Micah, you ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right. The way this works. I'm going to read the categories, even though Micah calls in enough. I'm pretty sure I know which category he's going for. We have NFL top 25 current paychecks, so players this year, current salaries. NFL short names, all players with names on the shorter side. NBA original Dream Teamers or NHL Hurricanes only?
Hurricanes only.
Had a feeling. All right, so the way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. In this category, I will give you the team, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
50.
Correct. Martin Necas, Carolina Hurricanes.
88.
Correct. Stephen Nason, Carolina Hurricanes.
23.
Correct. Jesse Bullerice, Carolina Hurricanes.
44.
Incorrect. Paul Stastny, Carolina Hurricanes.
26.
Correct. Jesse Bullerice, Carolina Hurricanes.
36.
Correct. That's a perfect score, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I remember Bullerice because I feel like he was a fighter.
Okay, I couldn't hear what you were saying. We were too busy celebrating.
Yeah,
What'd
he
you
drops
say
the
about
mitts a
Jesse?
few every once in a while. He's talking about Jesse Bullerice being a fighter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like I remember him dropping the gloves, so that's what popped in my head.
Hey, you gotta like watch a fight highlight in your brain and go turn sideways so I can see your number. What number are you wearing? That's
none of the Canes fight now, so yeah, I don't.
Oh, Micah, we're getting to know you, and I know that you and I are similar in that they need a little edge. Dennis, how long did that take?
That took 19 seconds.
19 seconds is pretty good, but we have seen faster, so it is possible that you're not the winner, which would be brutal. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see how Greg and Wake Forest does. Greg, are you there?
Good.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL top 25 current paychecks, NFL short names, or NBA original Dream Teamers.
Let's go the first category, the top paychecks.
All right, these are all players who are in the top 25 in paychecks this season. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. You need all five in 19 seconds or actually you need it in 18 seconds or less, 18.9 or less in order to win.
Problem.
Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers.
8.
Incorrect. Jared Goff, Detroit Lions.
14.
Incorrect. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers.
4.
Incorrect. Jared Goff, Detroit Lions.
Pass.
A.J. Brown, Philadelphia Eagles.
80.
Incorrect. Jared Goff, Detroit Lions.
12.
Incorrect. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers.
6.
You know,
the
cards were stacked against you. The cards were stacked against you, but I don't know if that atones for a 0. Jordan Love, we were looking for number 10. Jared Goff with the Lions wears 16. A.J. Brown with the Eagles wears number 11. Did not come up with any of those. So, I don't know. Maybe you didn't want to get heartbroken by it being close, so you just made it a blowout.
That's right.
There you go.
Right.
Hopefully you had some fun. Go ahead and try again another time.
All right. Thanks.
Appreciate it. That means Micah in Morrisville with the perfect score in 19 seconds. You are the winner.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Your enthusiasm is overwhelming. I appreciate it. Go ahead and stand in the line. Dennis will grab the info he needs.
By the way, I think Micah on our YouTube chat actually had a first goal score prediction, Micah.
Oh,
right?
Micah, give us your first goal score prediction.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling Svetch is ending his drought tonight, and he's going to hit Pedman with his Svetch power move where he holds it, uses his strength, and bangs it.
There you go.
With his forehand. Yeah.
From your lips to the hockey god's ears. Hopefully he gets off the schneid. Micah, by way of that perfect score and the win, gets a $25 gift card to Sammy's Tap and Grill off Avon Ferry Road in Raleigh. Check it out. It's a $25 gift card to Sammy's. There you go. All right. That was fun. It's been a long time since we got a perfect score. I think it's 50 some odd days, which is one of the longest droughts we've had. So Micah gets us off the schneid. Hopefully that does bode well for Svetch as well. Quickly here, there's a lot to watch tonight. There's UNC basketball. There's Duke basketball. There's the Canes, as we mentioned. There's a lot to pay attention to. There's also the first ever TGL matches. TGL stands for, I had to look it up, Tomorrow's Golf League. It is the...
Why not today?
No, it's futuristic.
Tomorrow.
It's like Tomorrowland. It is the biggest and most famous golfers, Tiger, Rory, Justin Thomas, Ricky, all those guys. They are getting together for an indoor hockey league that has simulators. It has like putting mats. It has all this crazy stuff. It's supposed to be the future of golf. It's going to be on Mondays, and the first one in its history is tonight, 9 o'clock. There's going to be matchups such as the New York Golf Club versus the Bay Golf Club. There's going to be matchups like the Los Angeles Golf Club against the Jupiter Lynx.
Jupiter. Okay. Hey, it's better than Golf Club.
The New York Golf Club against the Atlanta Drive Golf Club. You know what I actually think all of these startup leagues are doing that's not great? The names.
Yeah.
They're
Golf Club. Cool.
Well, it's like, make it Team Rory so I know what's going, like, you don't have 100 years of history. So when you say, like, we're the Lakers, I don't know what that means. Tell me which team Justin Thomas is on. Which one's Tiger's squad? That's what I want to know. It's like the XFL, when someone's like, did you catch the Stampeders game? They're playing the Super Knights. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. I need more details. The name Tomorrow Golf League, TGL. Every time I see it, I think it has something to do with Tiger. TGL. Like Tiger League. I don't know. I'm excited by it. I'll pay attention to it. I probably won't watch it just because there's so much else going on. But I'm definitely going to watch the highlights. I'm curious. First match starts in 3 hours. You know, anything to make golf a little bit more exciting, bring in a couple more casual fans, I think it's good.
But like you said, there's so much already going on.
I know. That's why I said.
They got college basketball. You've got hockey going on tonight. Gosh, in a couple of days, you got a college football playoff game in 2 nights. You're just kind of falling into the weeds.
Should we quickly, on their website, they have a quiz, and they'll tell you which team you fit rooting for?
Okay, go on.
Who are you golf clapping for? Tomorrow's Superstars or Legends, baby?
They just asking me which one?
Yeah, which one, like, which do you rather choose for or cheer for, I guess? Tomorrow's Superstars or the Legends, baby?
Legends, why not?
I would go Legends there. Road trip, windows down, what are you listening to?
Okay.
A, pop bangers only. B, country vibes. C, podcast junkie. D, nothing but rock classics. Or E, dialing in with hip-hop/rap.
Windows down?
Yeah, they had to say, obviously, not the drive, because then everyone would choose that. They wouldn't learn anything about it. So they put on other options, obviously.
Okay, but the question is windows down, though?
Road trip, windows down, what are you listening to?
I might be going rock classics on this one.
Rock?
If it's not that, it's hip-hop.
Nothing but rock classics is the option.
Probably go with that.
All right, day off, what are you up to? Slow sips, good reads, gym grind, brunch hunt, or Zen mode?
First one.
All right, slow sips, good reads. There's 8 questions total. This is number 4. It's Saturday afternoon. What are you wearing? Athleisure all day.
That's the answer.
All right.
I don't even know what the other ones are, but that's what I'm going with.
That's fine. I didn't read the rest of them. Game time. How are you watching it? A, bar, squad, and brews. B, patio, TV, grill. Or C, work doesn't stop, multi-screen hustle.
Sadly, I'm probably the last one.
All right, we'll click it.
The second one would probably be my choice.
I already picked it, so
Yeah.
Toss the budget. What's your dream vacation? A, nature's calling. I'm answering. B, beach bumming. Or C, big city, big sights.
First one.
All right. What do you love most about golf? Sweating it out. Winning. Next. New here. Still learning. 2 words. The lifestyle. Leveling up or being social with friends.
Wait, repeat those?
First one is sweating it out.
Okay.
The next one is winning.
All right.
The next one is new here. Still learning. Next one, 2 words. The lifestyle. Next one is leveling up. Next one is being social with friends.
Probably the last one.
All right. And final question. Time to eat. What's your go-to grub? A, pizza, obviously. B, every day is Taco Tuesday. C, burgers and fries, classic. D, protein shake, no time to waste. E, lobster roll, we're eating well. Or F, finger-licking barbecue.
I might go first one. Let's go pizza. Pizza, simple and easy.
Boom. Oh, I'm so mad. TGL, I'm definitely not watching. It says sign up to find out your TGL team.
Oh, come on.
You got to put in all your zip code, and they'll email you which team you should. I hate that so much. Tiger, I expected better. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on and I get furious, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Folks, the action is heating up this playoff season at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Lock in your touchdown picks, check out trending parlays, and increase your winnings with profit boosts. New customers can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. And unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code RADIO to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We look ahead to the Canes game tonight against Tampa. I want anger. I want fury. They should all have to take that quiz we just did right before and then get mad and go out onto the ice. We're talking Canes-Tampa coming up next.
It's bowl season. Listen for college football's best through January 20th. Every major bowl will be brought to you live.
Touchdown! Travion Henderson, 66 yards, and the Rose Bowl route is on for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Bowl season on 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford, Amedios, and Roofworks.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox, my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Business taxes. We're stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Stall, Svechnikov, Jarvis, he scores! A point to the passer, a picture-perfect play, and the Canes have taken the lead on Seth Jarvis's second of the period.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'll tell you what, that right there from Mike Maniscalco, that is unbelievable. All that's Peter Peck. What is it? The
alliteration?
No, yeah, it was the alliteration. The
onomatopoeias?
Tongue twister.
Oh, tongue twister.
Tongue twister. I was like, point to the passer, the picture perfect. Blah, 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 blah. And to not stumble on that in the moment, that's a heck of a job from Mike Maniscalco. And to pair that with Trip Tracy, who was named the co-sportscaster of the year for North Carolina earlier today.
Let's go.
Shout out to Trip. You got a pretty darn good broadcast team, and you can hear them give you the Canes game tonight against Tampa from Tampa later today right here on 99.9 The Fan with the Stormwatch, Adam Gold leading up to it beginning at 6:30 following Overdrive. So a full night of action here on 99.9 The Fan, and you have the talented duo of Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy bringing you that action here on 99.9. Right now, let's talk about the game. The Canes have a big game tonight, which means I'm looking towards the Stars. The other thing that is happening here, in case you can't tell, I don't mind talking. You probably learned that about me in our however much time we've spent the afternoons together, which makes it very frustrating when I can't adequately articulate what I'm trying to say. And I've struggled to say what I think the Canes are missing. So, like throughout the day, it's like a song lyric that I can't finish. I'm just singing it over and over and over in my head until eventually I complete it. And I'm going to keep trying. Here's something that I think the Canes are missing. And Dennis, I'm going to ask you a question at the end.
Okay.
So this is like a whole test.
Okay.
I was listening to a Sean Kemp podcast.
Okay.
That's
the
how,
former Seattle Supersonic.
Yep. That's how in deep I am to sports fandom. So I was listening to the interview, and this is what Sean Kemp said. He told a story about facing Larry Bird his rookie year. So Sean Kemp goes, the person that normally guarded Larry was out with an injury. Okay, knee, whatever, which has probably happened a lot, right? I got to guard Larry. Ow, my knee hurts. So he said the guy was out, so Sean Kemp, as a rookie, was going to draw the Larry Bird assignment. Sean Kemp woke up the day of the game, and he saw a USA Today article that came out that day that said Larry Bird doesn't have it anymore. And Sean Kemp immediately went, oh, this is not good for me, right? They're saying Larry Bird doesn't have it anymore. This is somehow going to get to Larry Bird, and he's going to make a statement, and I'm the one that has to guard him. And then that was kind of the end of the story. I went up and looked up the games that Sean Kemp played against Larry Bird his rookie year. Larry Bird gave him some work. 40 points on 27 shots, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. I think he still had it a little bit. To add to the hilarity of the situation, Sean Kemp had 5 points and 1 rebound in that game.
There you go, getting it.
Thanks, USA Today. My question is, if there was an article or a YouTube video or a ESPN.com article, if there was something put out that said so-and-so currently on the Canes doesn't have it anymore, who would make you go, uh-oh, that article was written, they're going to have a great game tonight? Who has that? Or even if it's not, they're going to have a great game tonight, who do you know it's like, oh, they're going to be on extra today because of that article? Or would most of them go, oh, the media has a job and we can't worry about their opinions. We try to only worry about the people in our locker room. Like, does anyone have that thing that obviously Larry Bird had in spades. It's unfair to expect Larry Bird's mental, competitive unhingedness be the expectation. But that's what I think the Canes are missing. Dennis, who on the team would you read an article from, I don't know, like TSN or The Athletic or one of the bigs that says so-and-so is trash, and you immediately go, oh, they're going to shoot 12 times today?
I can think of two guys.
Okay.
I think of Brent Burns, maybe.
That's not a bad one.
Brent
Didn't think of it,
Burns?
but that's not a bad one.
I think Brent Burns, possibly. And I think Svetch. I think if someone really wrote a scathing article about Andrei Svechnikov, he'd read it and go like, you know what? I'm going to the net every single time.
I hope so much. I hope so. Burns is a good one, and I didn't think of it because he's on the back nine, right?
Hence why
he's done it, right? He's in his 40s. He's making it happen. Svetch, I really hope so. And guess what's been happening over the last 5 games? People haven't been super complimentary about Svetch's production.
No.
Right? So I would never, ever advise this of a young athlete. Sometimes I think search your name on Twitter. Sometimes I think, like, you want to see what people are like. Go out there and have a chip on your shoulder. Don't, the media has it. Like, if someone's talking trash about you, go out there and beat them. Jake Gensel. Don't go, well, everybody's got to look out for themselves. Everybody has to do what's best for them, and we had a good time in the half a season he was here. Go out there like, no, this guy pushed and pulled our organization all over the place and somehow knew we wanted to go to Tampa before the period where he was allowed to talk to a bunch of other teams opened.
Jake Gensel is just a jackwagon.
Go out there with Larry Bird anger. And I just picked Larry Bird because I listened to the Sean Kemp pod. There's a bunch of other examples of wildly competitive people in hockey, in other sports, in all of them. Use it. Tonight, Tampa is a team that you should show up with anger in your eyes, little crazy eyes. And then go out there and play well and let them know about it. Let them know about it. My favorite trash talkers are the ones that could be losing and still talking trash, right? I'm gonna take a shot, like, because Larry Bird used to do I'm going to dribble twice, I'm going to spin left, and over the right shoulder, I'm going to hit a jumper. I guarantee you he didn't make it every time. It just seemed that way. And he kept doing it even after misses. Svetch, people aren't being nice to you. Go out there and show them that you're not to be trifled with. Martin Necas, we all did it. We talked about a potential trade for you going somewhere else this offseason, and a lot of people, while they were having those conversations, were also saying you should sign Jake Gensel to a massive contract that we knew would be a bad contract for the last 2 or 3 years, at least. Take that personally and go out there and show people what they were missing. End a slump. End the slump. Seth Jarvis, score. Early, often. Pyotr Kochetkov, I know you got a little crazy in there.
Yeah, he does.
Reel it in a little bit, but also let it loose a little bit.
It's a good kind of crazy, though.
Yeah, you gotta find the balance. I'd much rather say whoa than go. You know what I mean. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I referenced it just for a quick second at the top, but I do genuinely want to say congratulations to Tripp Tracy on being named Co-Sportscaster of the Year for North Carolina. I believe there will be, in a little bit, a couple months or whatever, a celebration in Greensboro where he will be honored. So congratulations to Tripp.
And Anish Shroff.
Oh, that's the other co?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw the
Shroff.
Canes announced it, so I didn't know who was co.
Canes color analyst and the Carolina Panthers play-by-play man.
And you hear Anish during Panther Talk Mondays during the Panther season here on 99.9 The Fan. So congratulations to both. That's awesome. Overdrive is going to start off with some basketball talk. Duke basketball against Pitt tonight. We previewed it earlier today. That's going to lead off Overdrive. So stick around for that game later on here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Move your sports day forward.
I know it's the NFL's world and we're all living in it, but next holiday season, can we just get a little bit of a breather? I don't need 40-7 blowouts on Saturdays. Put that all on NFL Sunday Ticket. I'll watch it on Red Zone over the weekend. Just spare me a little time to catch my breath, will you?
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.